they say, and by they I mean the people we're on the run from, that food is an ugly business. That food is intolerant and fake, even illegal. Well, I never saw food as an ugly business at all. I always saw it as, well, charming. I mean, this food charms you. It takes you in. It makes you feel welcome. Travel is like that. It isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it hurts. It even breaks your heart. But that's okay. Hopefully, you leave something good behind. Just don't bite off more than you can chew.
Welcome to our wonderful first Friday evening session of Friday Night Chew. Friday. Ticket pays for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. I had to do it. It's my favorite thing. I want to start off by saying hi to our sponsors and thank you so much to Imagining Games and Mitch Bustillos over at Penny for a Tale for helping to deliver us this chew-tastic game. Food Kickstarter will be starting soon, and just put it in the chat, as well as their Facebook group to catch up on everything Chew, both comic and RPG related. It's so amazing to get to do it. Weave the Tale, first session of the season, right? Oh my god, it's so exciting already. We have the ridiculous hype train, which, by the way, we're 90% at, just 30 seconds left. We're, just almost there, but we've already absolutely destroyed the subscriber goal. And already I'm just going to go ahead and say the Danger Cluck will rise, and they will just absolutely destroy it with these sub goals already. So thank you, everybody, for ensuring a safe and fun clucking time for everybody's first session. So my name is Anthony. And you can find me on Twitter here at the thing below me that says Head Chef. And if you couldn't tell, but I'm a little get up here at Prainntheplague. Wow, what a choo-choo. It really is, though. Thank you, everybody, so much for such an amazing first session. Wow, absolutely amazing. Without further ado, I'd love to introduce my amazing cast and their characters, and we will start in no particular order with our hotshot, Baron Hamm.
Sorry, chicken throat. Yeah, I am Leland / LeopoldTheJust. You can find me all over the internet at LeopoldTheJust. And today I'm playing Baron Hamm. Retired, hotshot badass. Kind of upset that he's get called back into work. Even more upset that Cool Ranch Doritos have been recalled due to their chicken contents they weren't disclosing to the public. So instead he's having to eat these regular assholes. So he's not really in the best of moods.
And this is because Baron is a torta espadero.
Oh yeah.
Which allows him to use lethal tortilla chips as weapons, so watch out for some stars of justice. We'll switch on over.
If you see them,
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you see the man with a bag of Doritos, then you know he means business. Thing is, he's always got a bag of Doritos.
I'm all out of names. So next we'll go to the amazing and very tropical Calliegh Mari and Dido.
Hello, I am Dido, and I am playing Calliegh Mari. She's just, this sweet little southern girl, partner of Mama Maple. And when she's not spying on the chicken world, she's at home with her fiance, Dr. Tilapia. and her cat Lemon. And in her spare time, she makes beauty products out of all kinds of different foods. Pineapple, chocolate, coffee. You name it, she'll make it.
I already dropped the hat. Is that funny? Every time I laugh, I'm gonna drop this hat. That's just how it's gonna be. What an amazing outfit, by the way. Thank you so much for really. I feel like I'm in SpongeBob's house. I'm really living under the sea. The pineapple's really, it's there. So
I can't hear you.
And so last, or what am I even saying? There's two more. Dinah by Halfling Nikki. Let's. You're next.
Okay, so I'm Nikki. You can follow me pretty much everywhere as at @halfling_Nikki. And I'll be in the chat with the same name, so you can copy and paste it if you need to. And I will be playing Dinah Maple, and she is a very old lady. We don't actually know how old she is. She was actually Baron Hamm's handler in the beginning, and then she started working with Calliegh because she finds her a lot more pleasant. We have a lot of tea together. And she is the mascot. So she's everyone's grandma, and people call her Mama Maple.
Watch out for this saccharine character. She'll trick ya. And now, last but not least, our favorite and cheesiest person, Colby Jack.
Colby Jack. Hi everyone. I am Scribbles, or Sam. I will be playing Colby Jack tonight, the vegan food blogger that is also highly into animal rights activism and anything to do with plants. So definitely a newcomer to the group, and I am excited to see how they fit in. Maybe. I think you are muted.
I am. It can't be at least one session without a muting. So this is the cork board. This is a super integral part of the experience. We want to make it feel like everybody's having a collaborative time, adding to the cork board whatever they want. And this will be where you put all your questions, your nouns in the form of articles, their details, and just all kinds of, this is our conspiracy board, our cork board, as it were. And so, as you can see, right, the initial question that brought us here, all the way to the right there, is where's the cheese? Okay. Our agents have been dispatched by the FDA on a rare mission to foreign soil, deep in the Andes Mountains of Peru, in order to figure out what's going on with these exports. Since the banning of fowl and waterfowl, there has been a huge boom in the exporting of milk and cheese in the area. Already a huge export by its, in the before times, before the panini bird flu happened and took everything away, right? And so it wasn't just the FDA in the United States, right? In fact, the Ministry of Agriculture here, known as Midagri, the Ministry of Agricultural Development as well as irrigation, really helping to kind of crack down on this chicken, right? So everybody's really happy. However, in a recent period, they've just stopped shipping. The mountain villages that really provided for these before are just not meeting their quotas, and it's not that they couldn't before. It's kind of sudden. This is considered an emergency situation by the FDA, and so we find our agents on a cargo plane about, like maybe 8 hours drive northeast of Lima, right? Actually, near a specific area known as Huancayo, right? Where you might know the popular dish, but we'll get there later. Our agents have a moment to discuss amongst themselves on the cargo plane.
Mama, what do you think would be appropriate for this this trip? A little bit of maybe some higher cheekbones. Maybe I can elongate my chin a little bit.
I mean, that might work for you. I think I think you should make
What
your
are you
eyes a bit
talking about?
bluer. Her
I
face.
can do that too. Can't let Dr. Tilapia know that I'm out here in South America on a cargo plane.
Why didn't you just tell him you were on a girls' trip with me?
Well, I did tell him I was going out of town. I just didn't tell him where. So if, you know, our shenanigans end up on the television, can't be looking like myself.
That makes sense. We could also put some of them cosmetics on Baron.
You're not touching me with
Baron.
that stuff.
I mean, I could just fling it at you.
Oh no. Let's not do that, all right?
I'm gonna grab out one of my hairsprays. Are you sure? I'm just a little touch of color.
Are you sure you
touched
should
me
have
with
compressed air on an airplane with altitude and whatnot?
Yeah, that.
I mean, it's not
I'm not much of a
explosive.
scientist, but that sounds like a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's not explosive right now, but under enough pressure, I think that would be a bomb in your hand.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
They
good
seem like they
time,
know
right?
what they're talking about.
It'll be like the time that we went to Portugal together.
Gosh, that was a fun time. Yeah, kind of did blow up something with my hairspray then, but we weren't in a cargo ship.
And we kind of did it on purpose, whereas this time it sounds like it would be an accident.
How'd you even get that through TSA?
Mm-hmm.
Did you just tell them it's just food? That's all we
Those
put up
idiots
on
are
their
so
scanners
easily
is
fooled.
food? And then you flash a badge at them, and you kind of give them a pretty smile.
And if that doesn't work, I just pretend I'm having a stroke and then they let us do whatever we want.
Oh my god.
I'm not quite
We
at
got
that
the
age,
double
but
team going.
Solid. So the talk of these explosives and these tense situations, you know, you can feel something in the air kind of rising, right? The tension. Suddenly, in the cargo intercom, a loud, gruff voice kind of comes on, you know, with a little bit of like that DC, Maryland, like, you know, kind of accent. Hey, everyone. It's your boss, whether you, you know, care to know or not. But it's really me, Mike Appleby. Now, I'm taking time out of my busy schedule to meet with some of my worst, lowest ranked agents, of which I have very little respect for. Now, usually when I give some of my agents a tough cookie to swallow, I say, yum yum in my tum-tums, right? That's what I want you to think about before you react to the next thing I'm going to say. Now, all of you know that the USDA has most jurisdiction for anything that happens outside the United States. You know, what with their military and cybernetic technology. You know, we're powerful, right? We have that too, but you know, we're not necessarily willing to throw it out like they are. Especially not for you chumps, right? Oh yeah. They have all these kind of cybernetics and whatnot. No. Listen, I don't know who tipped off who. And it's your problem now. I'm just going to cut to the chase. The FDA is blacklisting you. From here on out, no safe houses available in any of these areas. Officially, all support from you will be dead, but don't worry, you're suspended with pay, right? Collect your checks when you get back to the States. However, you can no longer come back to the States now for being international fugitives. Ooh. Was that the hot sauce? Was that the chilero that you really needed to understand what was going on? I'm sorry. Anyway, so just kind of consider this over. The plane will drop you off. I don't know. You know, figure it out, right? And then maybe if you get some more information, you guys, you know, pretty smart. I would hope. You know, we'll get you back later, right? Okay. You do have a moment to speak to him. Does anybody want to say anything?
You sure do have this all figured out, sir. Why the hell am I calling you? Must be my lack of Cool Ranch. It's doing something to my brain.
Yeah, definitely weren't cool, Baron. And I know that you're not rich enough to own a ranch, so, you know, probably.
One day.
I don't think so. Does anybody else want to say anything?
Do I have altitude sickness, or did he just... What just happened? He what?
Guess I'm not needed here. Click, and he just hangs up.
We've
You
been
have
suspended,
another
dear.
minute to discuss.
For what?
I didn't really understand. I don't really listen when he's talking.
Didn't make
Yeah, I
much
don't
sense
usually.
to
He
me
suspends
either.
us all the time.
Okay.
We
You
better get back
see,
to pay.
you see a very, very bright. I would say that it's probably, I don't know. It's like 5 in the morning here, right? So it's still dark enough that there's like, it's dawn. It's the start of dawn-ish, right? And it's like getting there. Sun's almost out. But it's still dark enough that you can really like, you know, see like lights. And you see a burning, bright light enter 8 windows on the right side of the plane. On the left, no lights, right? But it's kind of piercing through.
I think we all need a makeover now.
Yeah.
Well, we're just gonna look out the window, like undo our seatbelt and like go over to like look out.
For sure. So this is a low risk situation. We're gonna have actually our first roll of the game. In with this, this will be considered a fortune roll, where you know there's nothing risky going on. But let's just see. I mean, there definitely is, but not that you have to do anything. Not that you have to do anything risky to look out the window currently. So let's just roll. Let's roll. So let's you know, choose an attribute, 1 of 4. Guts, training. Oh man, here I just want to make sure I got the right
I'm
ones
gonna
here.
use instinct.
You're gonna use instinct? Okay, yeah, guts, instinct, training, and charm. So you're using the instinct. Gotcha. So let's see how many d6s you get,
I guess we'll see.
and we'll see. All right.
Okay, actually.
Okay.
All right.
Pretty
Not
good.
bad.
No, pretty good. Okay, so you go outside. It's good. I mean, you succeed with a little bit of a complication. The complication is that it takes you a little bit longer to really see what's going on. And I want to establish this prior, or not. I mean, skip the opportunity now. But essentially, this is of great effect because you know you're high up. You can see what's going on, and this would be a risky situation. So if you failed, there would be some consequences. Luckily, you know, you didn't though. This is fine. It does take a little bit longer. It does take a little bit longer for you to see it, however. And there's the problem. You quickly notice by the time it gets to you that what looks to be like a surface-to-air missile. You're familiar with military like devices headed straight for the plane. You do know that there is an emergency parachute box in the middle made to mimic let's say the camouflage of the area in the middle of the cargo plane, and that would probably be your best bet, just in case. And I'll let you relay that to the to the other agents.
Baron.
Yeah.
Baron, can you look out the window real quick? Just tell me if you see a missile.
Yeah.
Right now, please
My
look.
my character just runs over, Doritos in hand, and just like is like snacking on one as he's as he's looking out the window. Does he see the missile also? After they point it out to him?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody can look outside the window now if they want to confirm missile.
Holy. And then he just sort of
What's this about
pauses
the
and is
missile?
like, what the hell are we supposed to do?
Mama Maple. What's this about? Any missiles?
Do we jump? Do we jump? Do we get a parachute?
Obviously.
There's gotta be a parachute.
Will your hips make it?
With my hip.
You want to ride on my back,
Open
Granny?
door? They made it in?
I mean, like the harness. Okay. Okay. Parachute. Let's get a parachute.
We're gonna
So
need
you want to open?
at least 4.
So you want to search the parachutes box? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. You do it without any issues. You pop it open. However, it does have a word that says contraband on the side. However, you were specifically told that this was indeed the parachute box, right, in case of emergencies. What you find inside are 4 chicken down skins with a manual next to them saying, although we consider the transportation of all poultry and fowl products to be illegal, that doesn't mean that we can't use the most effective parachute known to our technology. And for millennia, that has been skinned chickens. Millennia. Right? And so you have like expanding, there's like the sack, the gas sack to fly will expand, covered in basically the feathers are still there with a beak hanging at the end. Purely decorative, won't pop the bubble most likely. Yes, this is the wing skin, and it'll guide you. See, I have to drop it at least when it's too funny. I have to drop it. Okay, so your parachutes are ready. Your chicken gizzard parachutes are ready.
I have a feeling
I'm
we
not
were
really
set
sure
up.
how effective. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just saying, I have a feeling we were set up. There's a missile, and now we have to use chicken parachutes.
Yeah, this sounds like
Are
a bunch of
you
bullshit.
suspecting foul play?
Our job is
Ooh.
mostly bullshit, dear.
Maybe.
Chicken shit even.
This is so good. Yes, the pun train.
Are there any other parachutes? You know, ones that don't use animal products?
Definitely none.
As Colby is questioning this, being the hot shot, I'm just gonna strap the damn thing on, kick the door open, and jump out. See you on the other side.
Okay. So when you say kick the door open, there is a button that opens this cargo plane's ramp. So you just like the hot shot, aviator glasses.
Kick that button.
Comes up to this like switch, slams your foot into the switch, destroying the mechanism. Or you can throw Dorito chips at it, whatever you want to do.
Yes, I'm gonna throw a Dorito chip at the button and like stabs into the button, breaking, like destroying the button and like forcing it to where it doesn't work anymore. And now the ramp's like just open or what?
It's open, and a classic scene of dozens of boxes, large and small, falling into the cargo plane as the cabin depressurizes and pulls you all out. You were all able to grab one of these parachutes in advance. However, whether you want to use it or not is still up to you. Everybody starts descending at terminal velocity, or they reach terminal velocity pretty quickly. What does everybody want to do?
Dream?
Well, I think this is something that Calliegh does quite often in her line of work. Just parachuting out of planes. Not quite with chicken skins.
Special issue. They're special issue for a reason. You'll see. So, does everybody wish to deploy? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Dinah's gonna jump out and she's gonna like make herself as wide as possible. And again, in my description, she is plump, so it's just like flaps, like just flapping in the wind on the way down.
Callie's
My mom
got a
calls
hold of
those her
hat,
wings.
holding it.
Go ahead, Callie.
Her dress is probably like poofed out.
Okay. All right. So we got 2 not using the parachute. That's fine. Baron, how about what are you gonna do?
Oh no, I'm using the parachute.
Oh, you
Yeah,
are.
he
Oh,
just
both
said
you are.
that
Sorry.
He just said that we were
Just,
descending really fast, so I was like trying to slow us down.
Yes, perfect. Sure.
I don't want to
Okay, now I
engage
understand.
the shoot yet. You know, my character's doing the same thing that Granny's doing. He's which is what he calls her, and he's you know, slowing himself down like that. Except he's doing it on his back while eating Doritos.
Level allowed. Sure. Gotcha.
His Doritos
Colby?
are somehow not slipping out of the bag, even with the wind. Just
The cool factor. It's the hotshot factor.
it's the hot shot, yeah.
It's the
100%.
hotshot factor.
Yeah.
The fact that he is a
Meanwhile,
tostada
you
esperado
see-
to begin with. You know?
Yeah, in sort of juxtaposition with everyone else, you see Colby just like turning head over heel, like just basically free falling and just screaming her head off as she just like clutches this parachute to her chest where it's not supposed to be. And just is like tumbling and plummeting, trying to figure out how to make it work. Her aspirations of veganism just out the door as certain death approaches.
Okay.
It's like, oh no, this will not do. Callie's gonna try and like make her way over towards Colby and grab a hold of her before deploying her own chute.
So I will say this, okay? The best thing, you know, for those that have deployed, which seems to be the 3 of you, you notice like a little, there's like a little extra toe on the foot, and you realize these are possibly genetically engineered chickens. Who knows where they came from? Upon grabbing this extra toe, right on their foot, this extra talon, the kind of gizzard sac, it deflates, and you can reintroduce at terminal velocity. And so it's almost like a wingsuit, you realize, that allows you to kind of, you know, turn it, close it, open it, close it, open it as you will to kind of float around. So you don't have to, like, before deploying, you can have deployed it, click the toe, talon, and then go after. And anybody else can help if they'd like to as well by lending a hand.
Yeah, if anyone needs a hand lent, I'm gonna engage my shoot once we're all level with each other as well.
I'm trying to catch Colby, who is tumbling head over foot.
So let's do, yeah. So yeah, you'll be able to roll something. Do you think that would be? I think that. Well, okay. Let's ask, right? What attribute do you think that would be best suited to?
I think that would be under training. I'm
Training.
sure that there have been plenty of rookies that she's had to parachute with that did kind of the same thing. Freaked out last minute.
My character operates on instinct alone, so you know.
Okay, so yeah, you can use however many d6 that you have for training, and if either Colby, Dinah, or Baron would like to lend a hand, one of you can spend 1 appetite in order to lend a hand and increase Callie's dice pool by 1 extra d6.
So
I'm
that's a
100%
d6
doing
for
that.
each star?
Yeah, that's exactly correct. The d6 for each star. And if you have any
I
approaches... Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm unchecking an appetite and one of my appetites and spending it to assist.
Gotcha. Perfect. So that so you have 1 extra from Baron's assistance, who I imagine gets closer and helps propel you in some gizzard do you want to describe the gizzard magic, Baron? How do you assist Callie?
Just as I deploy my shoot, I dart over like Superman, just fly over, using my instincts on what it's like to fly, and so I just I don't know, just veer over and flip around and I take my belt off and fling it out for Colby to grab onto.
Yeah, so
it's an extra D6?
Or for Callie, yeah, it's for an extra D6. And so let's see what you roll. Baron, you do lose your pants right away, as your pants are unable to withstand the might, and revealing some food-themed boxers.
Dorito boxers. Ranch.
Special edition, only at cons.
Yeah, sure. Chip con.
3, a 1, and a 4.
A 3, a 1, and a 4. Okay, so the 3 and the 1 are failures, and the 4 is a success with a complication. So Callie, you are able to kind of hold on to Colby, rescuing her, and the gizzard is enough to hold up both your weights. However, the consequence here is that you suffer a condition for essentially kind of, and so let's say that for now you'll be impulsive. Right? And being impulsive, it makes things that rely on instinct more difficult. By like one step, right? But you're able to save Colby.
It's okay. After the first time, it always gets better. You can only go up from here.
No, you can't go up. You're only going down.
Ascending rapidly. How do you not see that?
I'm just trying to make her feel better.
Oh, it's a metaphor.
Oh.
The two gizzards create like a sound, like a little amphitheater shape air bubble that allows you to speak perfectly without any wind resistance or issues to each other. Basically whispering like, I'm just trying to make her feel better. And it's perfect. You can hear everything without issue. Okay. Upon this happening and everybody, catching their breath, by the skin of their pollitos, we eventually, reach the ground a little closer than you think you would. Why? Because you're actually thousands and thousands of feet up, deep in a mountain range that you can identify as the NYTBS mountain range. And this is a mountain range a little northeast of that city I mentioned before, Huancayo, which is itself about 8 hours northeast of the capital, Lima, right, which is by the coast. You make it down, and you know what? You're greeted by one of the most beautiful sights you've ever seen. Even with the falling, you're still basically above cloud level. You can still see the clouds below you. As you see like this rolling green hill on this, like, at this point, unstoppable 8 a.m. morning sun, with fields and as far as the eye can see, really, with a small collection of basically buildings, different, what looks to me like tenements, huts, with a couple more like modern constructed buildings scattered around. It does look like a village, but it doesn't look. It looks like they have some tech, which is kind of weird for the area. You basically glide on over into this like idyllic hills, and you're fairly close to the village. It would take you maybe not more than 30 minutes to walk over. At this point, at this point, we'll take a break to let our players decide what they think just happened and to add their burning questions the people they met, as well as any maybe conspiracies against them, to the board here, right? And so I'm happy to help. But if anybody wants to start us off by putting a sticky note down, describing something that happened, we can start to make some connections here before we head on over to the town, the village town. All right, so we got one. Mike Appleby is a grade A jerk. Big
That
as
was
hell.
what I was gonna add. Some sort of variant of that. So
Yeah.
Okay.
seconded
Gotcha.
by.
Okay. So we got the USDA in Peru. We got the USDA in Peru. That is confirmed. I wonder how some of our people might feel about that.
The organizer in me would like if we could do people we've met in that purple that I did for Mike Appleby. So then
Awesome.
so then we know that those purple are people we've met.
Yay! Color coding the corkboard. I'm all for it.
Color
It makes
coding
life
the
much easier.
corkboard. It's like I'm a teacher or something.
Listen, we're agents, okay? We have the technology. So we got look. That's super important.
Pictures.
That's super important. So we have this really, selling it. Wonder what happened there. Where the missing?
Yeah, Baron
Doritos
Baron
hair
definitely
chicken.
feels like that the recall of the Cool-Ranch Dorito and his recent blacklisting are connected because they're both very terrible events that happened very close together. So it's a little suspicious.
Okay. So that's basically a conspiracy unto itself, right? The true conspiracy
It could just be Baron's
of these delicious
conspiracy, though. It
chips.
might not be important enough.
That's awesome. No, but it's super valid, right? Where do they go? However, a more pressing one that we see here is two that are related, and one that is maybe a little more clear. So we do have Mike Appleby is a grade A jerk. So we know that Mike is, you're not really sure if he's involved or not, but he definitely doesn't care, right? He definitely doesn't care. In fact, he sent you out here in the first place because you were expendable. Now, was that a setup? Maybe, right? And so the conspiracy now is that why were you blacklisted? This is going to be a huge thing that will need solving and some working before you're able to leave to let back in the United States and retake your right as FDA imperialists back on good old U.S. soil. As well as the fact that the USDA is here and that it was all potentially a setup. So let's keep this in mind as we head on over. Right now, you make it to this village where we see. At this point, and I want to be clear about what we're doing. So at this point, we will be entering the free play stage. Chew is a game that is divided by play phases. The first of which being free play, and this is kind of your investigation phase. It's going to be probably like the longest one, and it's going to be the one where you're going to be really going around, interviewing, talking to people, and building your case as to what's going on and why. Right? So there is a wider conspiracy as to why you've been blacklisted, but at the same time, your original mission for being here was where's the cheese? Where's the meat? Where's the exports? Why is it decreased? And you might as well, get on that while you're here. They did say they'd give no official help, but there's plenty of unofficial people willing to help you out in that regard. So for now, we'll say that the case is known as Where's the Cheese? So we'll be entering free play, and you guys can just kind of talk to people and do whatever you want. The scene that you see upon arriving to this village, and then you guys can kind of run wild with it, is a number of villagers who are accompanied by these red beret wearing, black and white striped shirt wearing figures. They all seem to be together in groups of 3 or 4, dotting what you can see as like the edge, the circular edge of the village. They notice you, but they don't react in any particular way. And the villagers are gathered who are all wearing these like traditional caps known as like chuyos. And these are like Andes textile caps made to guard your ears, like in these like high altitudes and like it's very cold sometimes. You know, even if it's like bright and sunny, right? It can be a little difficult. So they're wearing everybody's wearing these chuyos. These villagers are, and they kind of all have it perched down, as if they're crying. And as you get closer, you realize that they're actually burying. It seems to be a wake or a ceremony of sorts, burying, 4 plots, so 1 for each person, with an elderly woman speaking in the middle of the village. As we commit our loved ones, our brothers and sisters, our spiritual guides, and the people who most fiercely advocated for peace in our village with the recent troubles, it is with great disdain that I put them to rest here on our sacred land, where us and our kind have done so for time immemorial, right? And everybody's just kind of crying in this really downtrodden state. You're in. The hidden valley.
Well then, what do we think should happen?
Oh, I don't know. Always wanted to visit this place, but not under these circumstances. I definitely think maybe while we're down here, we need to try and get more information about that Appleby character.
Right.
I think we also need to find out why the USDA is here.
Should we like be paying our respects or something? We kind of stick out, guys.
Are the uniforms familiar? Like, do the uniforms that those people were wearing look familiar?
100%. So this is an article, a faction that anyone can add to the corkboard. But, and I will type it in Roll20 chat for the spelling. But essentially, you do know them. They are, even though you might, may or may not be relatively new or not. In the case of Baron, definitely not. Baron definitely, just know this already. These are clearly, there is a cell, seemingly a large one, of egg E.G.G terrorists. Okay? Egg terrorists. Egg
Mama,
is an organization. Sorry, go ahead.
Mama, I think it's a good thing that I changed how I looked before jumping off that plane.
I'm certainly glad as well. You didn't lose any of your tools as we were floating down here, did you?
Oh no, they're still here. And she, like, inside like her dress, there's like a secret pouch where she keeps all of her compacts and brushes. I mean, I lost
now
the
what do we know
hairspray,
about
but
egg, though? I need to know what Anthony was gonna say about egg before we go in there.
Okay. So, egg, essentially, they believe that the U.S. government is lying, okay, about the bird flu panini that ravaged millions worldwide years ago. And as such, they essentially adhere to this very long, hefty, beautiful, some might say sacred texts, style egg manifesto that is their guiding light in the darkness of everything that they face during the panini. It guides them to rise up against these fascistic organizations and these authoritarian governments trying to keep down fowl worldwide. So they're actually chicken supporters, but it's not just really about the chicken. It's just about, making sure that these people have their freedom back after basically, because everybody's living a lie as to what really caused the bird flu. this village leader, who the other people kind of cry out to her. You know, some of you may not speak Spanish, but they, Aymara, Aymara, right? And so Aymara, Aymara, is the village elder that seems to be speaking, you know, in the middle. And Aymara goes on to show how thank our protectors who came to us in our time of need as those corrupt officials from Huancaño come to take our most prized possession, our most prized possessions, sheep and alpaca. This is not a vegetable farm. This is not a ranch. In fact, you look over and you see a herd of about 200 huge alpaca, just you know, being beautiful, like just completely photogenic hordes of alpaca roaming around, dropping fur everywhere, living their best lives, tongues everywhere, and a sea of drool following behind them. And you realize that's what they do. Now, an alpaca, this is an important detail that you might want to add to the board soon. One of these alpaca stands, you know, as they kind of pass the village. One of them breaks off from the pack and kind of like looks at everybody. Its pupils, they make eye contact with you, Calliegh. One makes eye contact with you, and it kind of stands up on both hind legs. And with its hoof, kind of like points it at you, and like puts its hand forward, like almost pointing towards you, before going down and then like re-achieving quadrupedal state, winking, and then walking off.
Is that like a secret message like that she would recognize from when she was with Egg?
This is super, yeah. So you, right? Yeah, as a former Egg member, and in addition, you know, while he gets close, you know, while he looks at you, there's like an Egg member next to you. By the way, Egg hates the FDA, so they're not no one's hostile because they have no idea who you are. Just, you know, and you would know that, and you would know that. So, yeah, the alpaca is on the board, right? The Egg member who looks and like who's there near your peripheral vision when the alpaca looks at you starts sweating and drops his gun immediately. He flinches and drops the gun. And you know that Egg terrorists have a deathly fear of sheep and sheep-like creatures. An alpaca is like a nightmare sheep. It's double the fluff, double the height, long neck, and spit capabilities. They do not want to mess with these alpaca. So, like, why are they helping them? Right? And so, at this point, the gathering of people concludes, and the bearings are finished. You're able to discuss with either the Egg members or Aymara and the villagers.
What's the plan, dearie? She says to Calliegh.
Well, I mean, I've never been greeted by an alpaca like that. Usually they tend to spit. So part of me is thinking witchcraft. But then they're really afraid of them. So maybe if we keep the alpaca close, we can maybe
give it freedom.
The Egg members.
Well, that would certainly work for that. But if the USDA is here, it's probably not witchcraft. It's probably what do they call that? They're engineering the animals. What's that called?
GMOs.
Okay, this is me for real having aphasia. Like, what is it called when they're like editing the genomes of the animals?
GMOs.
I can think of so many
essentially.
words for the word I'm looking for.
Genetic manipulation works.
That's the one.
But it
Genetic
seemed like it knew me.
manipulation.
I mean, what if they were
Genetic.
making their brains work better so they can communicate?
Is the alpaca still like nearby?
So the alpaca has essentially disappeared. You know, it rejoined the horde, but there was nothing to make you feel like that alpaca was different than the other one, than any of the other ones. Hence the fear that they all possess similar eccentricities. Let's call them.
But she kind of lowers her voice a little bit. But I think I know why we were blacklisted. Because if we were the FDA, Egg would kill us on sight.
That's what I
They
was
do
thinking.
not.
Maybe we can set up without being told. Come down here and try and infiltrate this ring. Egg ring.
That just kind of sounds like an egregious thing to jump to. What?
See what you did there.
Thanks.
So, how does everybody want to proceed?
We could talk to the elder, or we could talk to Egg. Find out why they're here.
I'm
Yeah,
also
and if they start
old.
any mess, and if Egg starts anything with us, I'll pack a punch.
What do you bet that she enjoys a spot of tea?
I could go for some tea.
Who could turn down a good cup of tea? I think in every
Right.
culture they've got some kind of tea that they drink.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe we
Why
could
is
get some
that
ayahuasca while we're down here.
Colby, you're gonna say something?
Oh, as Colby's sort of looking around, just briefly observing the village, are the alpacas pinned in any way? Or are they just kind of roaming free?
So upon hearing, asking that, you do hear a villager say something like, "I hate giving them so much of our land. We've had to move all of our places closer to the center on the top of the hill, and I don't like it here. I feel like they're trapping me, and it seems like they used to be, but they definitely are not anymore." Upon a closer look as well, you do see a smaller horde of sheep, but the sheep seem to be like surrounded by the alpaca.
Who's
They're all moving in
they?
packs. You do take a moment to stop. Essentially, in the middle of the village, there's a small little like cantina type of thing, with a couple of wicker chairs outside, and they are serving mate de coca, which is an herbal plant made from coca leaves. Coca leaves, right? So
Just
as
a little
long
pep
as
in our step.
that's just a little pep, as long as you're cool.
It helps
with
with the
that.
altitude. It helps with the altitude sickness.
The villagers do talk about in Spanish. They say, "Sí, puedes tomarlo. Si quieres. Si quieres el té de coca. El mate."
Colby will smell the mata. Does it seem like there's any like animal products in it? Is it made with milk?
No, it's no,
Just
no,
water?
no. Yep, just water.
All right. I like my avocado toast, okay? Yeah, she will see if she can join them to drink the mata.
They were referring to to egg. They were referring to egg as their saviors.
Let's roll. Let's try to figure that out. Okay, so we'll do a fortune roll for that one as well, because it's not really risk. What would you like to use, and do you have any approaches that you think would help you figure it out?
I would probably use. I would probably ask a villager for confirmation of what I heard, and use. I do have an approach. I just have to find the right. And I want to use my delicious approach, where people find me enticing to kind of like get them to talk, like a little easier, like make them feel like at ease with that southern charm.
And I'm sorry, and you said this was charm?
Yeah, not my best,
okay.
but yeah.
No, that's not solid. Okay, so you take let's see. You stop the villager that kind of spoke out loud and Colby overheard. And you ask him this question. Well, what specifically would you like to say to him? He's like, what? He's like, perdón. He's like, I'm sorry. He doesn't know who you are.
Pardon me, sir. It's a sir.
Yeah, it is.
I couldn't help it over here. Did you call them your savior? What did they save you from?
No, estás equivocado. You're wrong. Actualmente ellos son los diablos, and he kind of says, like, pointing at the horde. Ellos, which means they. He's pointing at the devils, he called them, which are. He points to the alpaca horde. When he says ellos, you see, like, there's at least a couple hundred. In the total horde, when they say ellos, it reverberates throughout the valley with a little bit of an echo, and about 75 alpaca, like, just turn their head.
What is up with these?
That is definitely interesting. I still need a little bit of clarification. Are the alpaca the devils, or are the uniformed guys the devils?
No. Ellos están protectando a nosotros. They're protecting us. Ellos son protegiendo a nosotros. Saying that they're protecting you and that they, essentially. Here's the scary part. The egg terrorists also flinch, like all of them flinch when the 75 alpaca turn their heads. It's like they're trapped here. Like nobody can.
The alpaca turn their heads towards the sound or away from the sound?
Towards the sound. Looking, and then they make eye contact with, like, some of them make eye contact with you, some of the other ones, and the majority of them make eye contact with the person who said where the sound came from.
Don't look at me like that.
For the alpaca.
I'll make you into a sweater.
You will not.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I brought enough explosives for 75 alpaca. So we might need to find an alternative route around this.
That's still
alpaca
weird.
Are just taking back their home.
Yeah, that's fair.
But they're also trapping the people here in the town.
And how long have we been trapping animals?
The alpaca look free, from what we can see.
Right now.
So, here's what I think. I think we need to find a way to make a compromise between the people and the alpaca. Problem is, I don't speak alpaca. I sure as hell don't speak Spanish.
I might be able to speak both.
Well, that's incredible.
I didn't
And I have
know
no
that
idea
you
how.
could speak to animals.
Callie, go ahead and actually finish that roll for me, and let me see what in particular, because this will determine the difference between like a consequence or. So this will actually be, let's see. This will be a great effect, but this will be a risky position. So like if it's a 5 or a 4, it'll be like mixed results with some consequences. But the effect could be great since you're already so knowledgeable about the alpaca.
Okay, so that's charm. Do you roll extra dice if you're using an approach? For the roll?
I'm just gonna
know how
give
that
it to you. I love that. So yeah, I want to encourage the approaches and what makes your character unique.
A 4 and a 5.
A 4 and a 5. Okay. So with the 5, there is a complication. The man tells you that he basically says, alguien cambió ellos cuando nunca nadie estaba yendo a ellos. Basically, somebody changed them. Un tombo le cambió. Now, tombo is a Peruvian word for like constabulary, authority figure, right? And we know there was another authority, agency in this region, but essentially, they said that somebody with authority changed them, and so now you've added weight to the theory that it's definitely some sort of genetic manipulation or engineering of some kind, right? Some things up with these alpaca and these sheep. Now, here's the consequence. One of 3 of the egg terrorists, one little squad, overhears that you're asking a lot of questions about the alpaca, and they know that you're new, but like everybody in the region kind of knows what's going on in the immediate region knows what's going on with the alpaca, and so they find it strange that you don't know anything about the alpaca. And they kind of like start going up to you when Dinah, you feel an arm kind of like grab. You're like standing, on the edge of like the valley hill, and you feel like a leg grab your an arm grab your leg and kind of pull you behind while you roll. Suddenly, in a almost without warning, as you get a whisper in your ear, how many times have I saved you now, right? I think I'm winning. You hear a familiar voice in your ear as a hail of bullets and screaming start flying around into the village as the alpacas disperse in the other direction, kind of running away from the village. As these gunshots pick up, you turn around, Dinah, to see your old rival friend, Freddie Sketty. Freddie Sketty is, actually somebody that you might have a deeper connection with, but maybe you haven't seen them in a while. And you're just kind of biting your breath, wow, I can't believe it's them again. As you turn around to see kind of military fatigued men wearing almost like government issue standard canvas gear, and like, you know, basically olive camouflage with militaristic chuyos to adapt to the climate, firing, along with a elegant woman who has a cybernetic kitty with her known, and she's like, shh, Sweet Pea, come on, shh, meow, meow, as the kitty starts to fire lasers from its eye into the barrage. Right, and is like, meow, meow, yowling as this character, Freddy Sketty, is trying to keep it down. A gun war is an ultra-violent war seems to have broken out. These military fatigue people are going down. Some villagers are going down. The egg terrorists are on full-on alert, and they're not even really paying attention to you anymore. Although they do know that you're not necessarily who they say that you are, who you say you are. What does everybody do?
Well,
Is Freddy still
Baron.
holding on to me?
Is Freddy still drawn to? Yeah,
Holding
romantically.
on. I said, is Freddy still holding? No, is Freddy still holding on to me?
Oh yes, yes. She hasn't let go
I'm
yet.
gonna kick her. Let go of me.
You kick her off. Whoa, whoa. All right, all right. You know, we'll take care of it. You know, whatever we got after we're done here. And you guys are caught in the crossfire. You know, you have a chance to fight, or you can try and escape. You know, whatever everybody wants to do.
Well-
Dinah just looks at Baron.
you think we should? Whose side we on here? We've been blacklisted. Guess we're on our own side. What do we do? I don't want to just charge. I know mine's just charging in, but I would like to get a little input with the rest of you.
Colby's just like literally like wide-eyed, not knowing what to do. Just like her inexperience is just showing that she is completely lost in this sort of situation. But she like wants to go help the alpacas.
I suppose we could
Of
we could
course.
help Colby with the mission that they seem to be on here.
Helping
Doesn't
Freddy.
seem like they're on the same mission that we are.
Well,
I mean, if we're gonna
having a
free
bunch
the
of
alpaca,
alpacas
we
on
gotta
your
find. I mean, the alpaca's being controlled by someone or something.
Yeah.
So we gotta free them.
We gotta figure out who's it has entrapped them, and I say we should get out of here before we get shot, and we can't find out how to save these alpaca for Colby.
They're not shooting at the alpaca, are they?
The alpaca have fled. You're on the ridge line, looking at no man's land as these people start rushing towards each other. You can see the alpaca horde to the west, so essentially to your left, out in the distance, in a valley away. However, at this point, all sheep and alpaca are standing upright, tiered, in an almost like amphitheater, like they've naturally organized into almost a coliseum viewing of what's going on, and you can see some of them with like grass in their hooves, like munching.
That's very uncanny. I don't like it very much.
They're quite
In fact-
weird, and they don't seem to be too bothered.
I kind of hate it. I'm very uncomfortable with this.
Why don't we get the hell out of here until this blows
To
over?
the alpacas.
I mean, if they're afraid of the alpacas, then the alpacas seem to... I mean, they're certainly taller than us now. That might be actually the best idea.
Baron opens
So-
up a new bag of Doritos and starts sprinting over to the alpacas, shaking his head
I
like,
mean, the one that came up to me seemed, you know, pretty friendly. And she's not running, but she's striding purposefully behind Baron.
So
Dinah will
Ready.
follow.
yeah. Okay. There is the fight reaches ahead, and grenades come out on the sides of the egg terrorists, kind of like in a line, rolling pineapple grenades, pineapple frags down the hill. Whereas these militarized canvas wearers on the side fighting with this USDA agent pull out mortars. This no man's land that you've both been in the middle of will turn into that soon. They fire, and everybody is kind of like pincered in. At this point, we will be doing you'll have the option that this will be happening, and then you can choose to do a resistance roll to get out of it. Okay. Whereas, and I just want to make sure here, but essentially you roll a d6, right? And you see it costs 6 of your appetite to resist, minus the amount that you roll. So if you get a 6, it doesn't cost anything, you resist, and you're able to avoid these grenades. If you don't wish to resist, that's okay. It'll just give you other consequences. This will be a desperate position, but it will be great effect as you can still, get out with time.
Okay, so what role are we basing this on? What is it? Attributes?
Yeah, which attribute? That's what I'm trying to verify, if there's an attribute associated with it. I just want to make sure real quick. Yeah. So apparently I have to decide. In this case, I will be using guts because it is a risky situation. Yep. So the amount of d6s you get for your guts.
I got a 3 and a 1, so woo.
So if I have a 1 star in that, then that means that's a 1d6.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so whatever you got, yeah. And so the GM does decide. Chose guts. Whatever you got, the highest number, subtract 6 by that number, and you will successfully resist these explosions. Right. So everybody does
so I rolled
succeed.
a 4.
Yeah. So it's only 2 for you. So for example, you only tend to spend 2 appetite then, right? 6 minus 4, 2 left. You only spend 2. That's essentially how it goes. And so anytime that I say something awful happens and you want to resist, this will be the way to do it. So just keep that in mind. Everybody does succeed, but you have, however, much less, appetite for the next time. Everybody's able to kind of roll out when a single groundhog, not a groundhog, a guinea pig, burrows out from the ground and kind of is for mean fully intended. One hand a-okay, another hand like a prayer, right, with his little tiny paws, right? He shines a golden light brighter than the sun itself. The villagers immediately drop their guns, drop to their knees, and start bowing to this guinea pig. With Aymara stepping in the middle, hands out of an elderly Peruvian woman living in the Andes, indigenous and all, asking for the stopping of hostilities between these organizations. She says, "We need to speak. We have all been at the mercy of the monsters to the west. The alpaca start waving. And each other. We cannot deal with both. It ends now. Some of you may know our village's most prized and sacred treasure, Chuchi. This is Chuchi. Pointing to the guinea pig. Guinea pig is like, right? Just super cute, out of this world. As you all know, the majority of you might know, this guinea pig has been chosen for eating. For eating the delicious cuy, right, in the future. But for now, he is our spiritual guide. Some of you may not know this, but he is sebopathic. And if he takes just a small little munch of anybody here, he can tell you what happened your entire life. He is our arbiter. He is justice made manifest. All in Spanish. We will have some time to discuss amongst ourselves. And everyone considered important or in charge of somebody will submit themselves to Chuchi. And we will see truly who is at the core of this violence, this bloodshed, the majority of which we can't even remember how it started. She's like tearing up at the end there, and she feels like she can, if somebody really asks her, like pushes her, there might be something that she, doesn't want to say, but it's just like right there on the tip of her tongue. Would anybody like to get involved here?
I kind of elbow Colby. I heard about 3 of those words.
Colby would like quickly translate what had been said. But her eyes are just like on the guinea pig.
Golden, like
thanks for
glowing.
the translation. Kind of lacked the passion. The words were there. That guinea pig is pretty fascinating though, right? If it can do what they say it can do.
Why would they want to eat it if it can do that?
Well, I don't know. But for now, we can get it to eat us, and maybe we can figure out why we were blacklisted.
It sounds like they're actually not planning on eating this one.
I think the person the guinea pig would have to eat would be Mike.
Too bad we can't lure his ass here.
Oh my god, Colby.
Yeah, that asshole.
Colby will like
Grade
pull
A
out
jerk.
a notebook and like write down something real quick.
I want to point out there have been a little bit of complications or some failures in earlier rolls that were negated by the earlier sub goals, where it was the danger clock was supposed to increase, but it didn't. Things are pretty smooth right now. You have the space where you really feel like you're in the middle, you're mediators, and you can take a break and a breather. Hostilities do seem to have ceased. And for each group, a representative is chosen. For the USDA, the only one there, Freddie Sketty, and her cybernetic kitty, Sweet Pea. Still completely don't know why the USDA is there. For the villagers, you have the leader, Aymara. Egg, this rugged, smoking, after shadow, big bulking man. This beefcake just comes tranching in. I am the guerrillero, the warrior, the fighter, the soldier. And I represent Egg here. But you know what represents Egg more than I ever could? And he pulls out his manifesto. This thick, beautiful, glistening 75-page manifesto. He says, this truly is the heart of what makes Egg Egg. We have been trapped here for months by the demons! Yells again and points to the alpaca and the sheep, which are definitely still not okay. But they can't leave. And he goes, I will go first. We've engaged in war, in fighting, anger with these government fascists, pointing to the Ministry of Agricultural Development and Irrigation of Peru, also known as Midagri. These guerrilla wannabes fighting now for the establishment while we're here in the mountains, really establishing what we've been doing, for as long as we have. Egg, all we want is the reestablishment of the freedom of the people here. And this village knows the power of poultry. Aymara decks him for mentioning chicken, poultry of any kind. Just takes the punch. I'm sorry, elder. Really kind of like submitting to this like village elder. Right. But it's so delicious, I can't help but mention it. We've done nothing wrong. We have not committed any crimes here. Egg is not involved. And he goes up to Chuchi. He gets bit. Chuchi's light darkens, dims even, for a moment, where the radius of it kind of decreases. And guinea pig screaming. Like really, like not okay. Spits out his flesh. And he's not happy with this person, clearly lying about something he said.
Colby, you said you could understand alpaca. Can you understand that guinea pig?
I mean,
or are your skills specific to camel, sheep-esque animals?
I mean, it's more of a thought that maybe I could understand them. I mean, what do guinea pigs eat?
Lots of like hay and vegetables. It's like to munch out on things. There's like a little tray in front of him made out of wicker with like mini like little beets. Just beets actually. Just beets.
Oh,
that's all he wants to eat for some reason.
Colby's like gonna try and like sidle up to like his little tray and see if she could like pluck out one of the beets to eat it.
And this would be your quirk, or this would be an approach that would allow you to speak its language.
Yeah, she's not sure if it works on animals, but she's wondering if she eats the cuisine of the animal, if she can understand its language, like she can understand other people's languages.
Okay. Roll for me. This won't be a fortune roll because there is a risk. Let's say that the risk is risky, but that the effect is limited, right? So you won't get much out of it, but it could cause a consequence. That's decently troubled. Yeah, let's go with what attribute would you like to use for this activity roll?
Trying to to think of either instinct or charm. I'm gonna go with instinct again.
You got it. So because
She's
your instinctual nature to just eat the things that these things eat to figure it out is strong.
exactly. It's just like, if I eat what the guinea pig eats, I will understand the guinea pig.
Mhm. Oh,
Hello,
a crit,
Mr.
Oh,
Guinea
man.
Pig.
Why you do this to me?
That's
Why you do this to
amazing.
me?
That
Okay.
is awesome.
Rare. So
Delicious
with the
egg.
crit,
Love that for us. Absolutely love
with
that
that
for
crit,
us.
you obviously are able to garner, succeed and garner more than you originally expected. She goes, beep, beep, attack, beep, beep, launched, whip, whip, hidden, whip, whip, station. You hear those 4 words: attack, launch, hidden, station.
She's just like
Okay.
frozen in disbelief for a moment, as the like beat that's in her hand, that's like kind of stained red now, just like falls back into like his wicker like offering tray. I wasn't actually expecting that to work. And she's like gonna go back over to Maple and Calliegh. So I can speak guinea pig.
You can
Kinda.
in the situation.
I love that for you, darling. What did it
Right?
say?
This opens so many. It said attack, station, missile. There was one other thing.
Attack, launch, hidden, station.
Attack, launch.
Can I just say that?
Station.
Can I just say that Baron hears them talking distance as he's like, trying to like fend off attackers from the alpacas, and he hears attack, and maybe is misled by that as a command.
Oh, no.
And just gets full on into the fight with his bag of Doritos.
Can Callie attempt to just instinctively just put her arm out, knowing how compulsive he is, to try and like stop him from going forward?
So, sure, but you yourself are currently impulsive. So,
Yes.
if you would like to stop an impulsive nature with an impulsive action with an impulsive action, that is not as easy to stop. Let's do it.
I would probably I'm probably distracted from what is being said. So
Okay.
oh, actually I can't roll instinct because I've only got 1 point. So I can't stop him.
Okay, so you can what? In case just try to get in there. It's just not working out the best it can be.
Let's
Can
kick
Mama
some
Maple
ass.
stop him?
There is like a 5-minute caucus, essentially, where everybody in their factions start to kind of speak amongst themselves about what the best plan of action is after Chuchi's damning statements. You have a chance to speak with Freddie, Sketty, easily about the USDA connections. In the meantime, you also have a chance to speak with the Midagri, whose leader you see but have not been introduced to yet. And you have a chance to speak to Aymara and the villagers for some additional information. This would be a good time to ask questions, and that would be there are roles to asking questions, and what answers you get. So you kind of get the story straight before everybody gives their shortened plot and submits himself to Chuchi's judgment.
I'm gonna say that Baron runs in with his chips and is like, gonna realize is like what's going on a little better, and then he's going to but he's still ready to if needed. So he probably would like to approach the villager and like offering his tortillas as a instead of sword.
Yeah, great idea. So let's do a charm activity roll. There is risk as the egg terrorists were starting to turn, and then the villagers kind of follow what their protectors, what their demeanor is at right now. So he's a little scared, but he's willing. He's willing.
What if I have a 0 charm?
Then you roll a 1, and another person would be able to lend a hand, or you would be able to what? Let's do this, right? I'll give you a devil's bargain. Okay, your tortilla, your Dorito specifically, your manufactured tortilla chip, it's kind of looked down upon in this area. Like everybody here has like maize like flour, and they're like, what the shit is this? What you just
I know,
what
right?
thresh have you given me? And so, as to the chip of it, there's a devil's bargain. You can choose to take it or not. If you take it, his disdain for the chip will be higher, but he will also respect you more for wanting to speak to him, and you have an extra D6. However, if you fail, then there is another complication, another consequence that happens. In addition to a lend a hand or a dig in. So, I'm sorry, not a dig in or devil's bargain, and then a lend a hand, or if there's anybody else that wants to help you. So, someone can spend appetite. What do you want?
What does dig in do? Just give me an extra die.
It gives you an extra die. Or you can, so you can spend an appetite you can spend 2 appetite and do that. I don't know how many you have left. I think you have 3 left. No, you have 5 because you lost 3. You lost 3 earlier, I believe. Yeah, so you have 5 left. You can spend 2 more to dig in, or you don't have to spend any and do this devil's bargain. Either way is fine.
I will spend 2 more and dig in, and then that'll be 2 die, right?
That is correct. Roll those die. Let's see what happens.
Okay, cool. And when I dig in, something explodes. So you can choose whatever that is.
If somebody gives an extra retweet at this time, you will get an extra D6 for this roll. I'll give it like 15 seconds. Give it like 15 seconds. I just wanna. This is a great place to use it. Just looking for one more.
Come on, retweet.
Just one. Oh man. Okay. Alpacas, sheep. Where do I retweet?
You got it.
We got it. Okay. It's
Nailed
been
it.
done. You got the extra D6. Thank you, everybody, for 20 retweets. I'm glad we were able to meet both our goals there. There's also brownie points if anybody wants to spend 5 buckaroonies on an extra D6. But for now, we have 3. What was your highest roll of those 3?
I got a
6.
6 and 2 1s.
Oh, well, then all you need is the 6, though. Good for you. Okay.
Excellent.
He accepts your crappy tortilla chip. And he's like, yo no sé qué mierda es esto. I don't know what shit is this. Pero lo voy a aceptar. I'm going to accept this. Y
I give him the one.
Por
You know how sometimes
su-
there's the Dorito that's loaded down with the seasoning?
The best ones, the mother load.
Yeah. I pick around and find like that's loaded with seasoning. So I give him.
Oh, and I'm sorry, just to clarify, everybody has a spare D6 on their next roll, not just you, Baron. It's just useful for you to use it while you were going to do your roll. He takes the best chip, the divine chip, and for you know what, he really thinks that it's a representative chip. He's like, what the? Kind of eats a piece of that nacho cheese, and like the MSG crystals really like start to work on this dude, man. And he's like. Immediately starts crying. And he's like, They shot him dead. They shot him dead. And he like kind of motions over to Aymara and he says, her grandson, we hated him, but he was the biggest proponent of peace, la paz, in the village. And he was her grandson. They killed him. They shot him. And it seems like Aymara has lost her grandson, who I will write here, whose name is not given, just grandson. Grandy's son. And essentially that he was hated, you know, but they're worried. Like they were like, man, we should have listened to him the whole time. You know, because he said like war was coming, and now like there's bombs getting thrown at these like these campesinos, these villagers who are just trying to farm some dagnabbit stuff, and they can't. They got alpacas trapping them. They got this war going on between establishment and anti-establishment, and they don't. You know, he got caught in the crossfire, and now I feel like it's significantly worse as a result. So Aymara's grandson has been murdered, is what you find out.
I'm gonna gather with the other group and say,
listen, we need to help these villagers. We're not FDA agents anymore, but it's just the morally right thing to do here.
Right then.
Freddie.
Does Baron tell them about the dead grandson?
Family members have been killed here for no damn reason. People just trying to mind their own business out here.
see, and I just list off like
grandson,
you know, whoever else I heard
Yeah,
heard about
you
being
relay it.
murdered
You
as well.
relay it. Mm-hmm.
In that case, I want to use you know, the grandmotherliness to try to talk to Aymara. Also, I forgot about Tofu, and when Freddy showed up, Tofu totally like popped out of the bag and started barking at Sweet Pea.
At the Sweet Pea. So Tofu and Sweet Pea, you know, they go at it a little bit. You know, they bark around, but after a little while, they start playing, even because they kind of remember each other. And there's like a little bit of melancholy there, with the fact that you can't stop the puppy love. Can't stop the puppy love. Sketty tells you, listen, before you head on over to Aymara, she's like, I don't know what you guys are doing here, but I told Mike, this is USDA Operation Grade A. You know what Grade A means? Premium. That means us, cybernetics, the military training, our professionalism, the elegance. We don't know what you guys are doing out here, okay? But I'm deep undercover with these guys over here, okay? And Peru is counting on us to make sure that the United States is helping them in whatever way they want or don't want, but we're gonna do it. Now, you know that we do this. I have no idea why you're here. And she's like genuinely surprised, upset even. And she also clearly wants to increase the United States hold over Peru by kind of going agency to agency. In this area, the ministry has almost as much power as the FDA, it seems like. They have guns. They're out in the mountains outside of city limits, you know, kind of enacting their own like cowboy justice. And Sketty just wants to make sure, like, are you safe? Like, are you okay? You know, I just, you know, I don't like what happened the last way that we talked. And I want you to resist now, or you have the option to resist rather. She's just like this wave of trouble coming from your partner, seeing yourself, from your, this ex romance, this ex thing, whatever it could be, kind of affecting you, and you're worried that it's you're being manipulated by lying, she's being manipulated by lying, about where you both were. So she's kind of like jutting you with that emotional favor, and then you can choose to resist or not, to kind of resist like her appeal to your emotion. Would you like to?
So either I could resist or I could be mean to her right now.
You can, if you resist, that's how you will be mean. If you resist and succeed, then you'll be mean to her. If you resist and don't succeed, then her feelings will pierce parts of your hard shell, this hard ice cream shell.
Got it.
Get to the gooey center.
And what do I roll to resist?
What do you want? Do you want to roll? I decide technically, so I mean I'll take a suggestion, but for now I'll say charm. If you want to try another one, though, you can. Okay. And would your approach saccharin give you an opportunity to, or your quirk saccharin, would that make you more amenable to her?
So it's more about
Too
like
sweet?
the people like can't ignore me, and I'm not really trying to get anything from her.
From her. Gotcha.
Leave
Okay.
me alone.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. Yeah, roll me that charm.
Oh no. Can I roll my D6, my free one?
Yeah, please. Yes, you can.
It might save the day.
Get that
I
brownie
rolled a 2 and a
points
1,
out there.
so. There we go.
A 6.
Ah.
Ooh, a
That is
6.
the shit.
Perfect.
Pardon my French.
All right. Yeah. The clutch kitchen moment. Okay. Line cook just dropped 4 dishes, but you caught them before they hit the ground. Perfect. So, yeah, I mean, you look right. Choose how you choose to resist with this meanness, you don't have time for this melancholy right now. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna smile like sickeningly sweet at her, and I'm going to say, and like she's been whispering to me, so she's been close to my face. So I just say, "Dear, have you been drinking too much of the coca? You should probably go brush your teeth." And then walk away to talk to Imara.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely resist, right? You don't lose anything because you roll that 6. And she kind of like is taken aback. You also understand that she has like the motivation to increase foreign involvement in Peru, right? And that's kind of like her driving force for being there. Originally you were sent to figure out what the USDA was doing there, or at least that was part of it, and you figure that out, right? She all but confirmed where she was going. You make it to Imara. Calliegh and Colby, before Dinah speaks with Imara, what do you guys want to do?
What are you thinking there?
I don't know. I'm just bitter about this whole suspension thing. If it was strategic, so we could work our way into this organization, then I feel like maybe as a respected member of the FDA, I would have been told. But I guess not.
Well, with the USDA being here and Egg being here, it's probably for the best that we were blacklisted. I'm more concerned about if it was Egg that tried to blow up our plane.
Why don't we just ask him?
Did the missile hit the plane? I totally forgot about that.
So you did jump out in time, and then yeah, the missile did hit the plane, and its parts did fall. However, with everybody moving around, trying to help out Colby, you know, you were able to dodge that debris. Egg did not think that, or anybody think, you know, whoever was, you know, the villagers and Egg who saw the plane crash who were up there at the time did not think that anybody could have survived it. So they really have like no idea who you are. You know, could be like just travelers. They get them fairly often.
Well, they did blow us up then.
They did blow
Does
you up.
that mean that Mike
Someone blew you up.
didn't make it?
They your what?
Did
Mike was
Mike
on
not
intercom.
make it?
Mike was on he was like he was speaking on like the airplane like intercom system as like a last
Yeah,
call.
okay. I thought he was flying, so the
No,
plane.
no. Yep.
Other Mike, I mean. The pilot.
The pilot, yeah, Mike didn't make it. Unfortunately, Mike,
Pilot Mike
Blueberry
died.
did in fact perish. Yeah, Mike was on the mic.
I mean, we could reach out to him.
We're just gonna walk up to them and be like, "Hey, did you launch a missile at us?"
Well, we can't. We can just say it wasn't us. We could say we were hiking through and saw a missile fly through the air or something. We could just inquire
I
about
can
it.
also recite their manifesto by heart.
Hey, I got an idea. Maybe we're egg recruits, and you're an egg member. You're bringing us here. Show us the ropes. And we saw the missile fly up.
Reinforcements for the llamas.
Yeah.
I wanted
I'm
to
just
use
curious
the
if they're the
flashback,
one
but
that
I
launched
don't
it.
know how to do that.
Okay. El Guerrillero, the leader of Egg has already submitted himself to Chuchi for screening. Whilst you guys are discussing amongst yourselves, Freddy Sketty, you know, kind of also does the ritual for Chuchi and offers a piece of flesh. This to see that the USDA is on the level. She yells out as the only member there. Sweet Pea is like, "Rawr!" and like hawks up like a half cybernetic hairball near like on Chuchi's beat tray. Like guinea pig like flinches a little bit, like, yeah. But takes the bite. And just looks like really like no problems. Not even any lies, no problems at all. You know, he has like the best positive response he could have. And he doesn't, you know, you clearly see him like, you know, with elation, joy, you know, he's very happy about, you know, what's going on, right, with her. So, you know, that's 2 down and 2 more leaders to go. Whilst you're discussing amongst yourselves, the leader of this government group says, "Well, I think it's time to introduce myself." And he has a mouth like this, puckered at all times, eyebrows down, sucking on lips and teeth. You know, just the worst, right? Just very sour person. Mi nombre es Dario Lima. También vivo en Lima. His name is Dario Lime, and he lives in Lima. He's a very sour person, clearly, right? I don't trust anybody here. Midagri, hop, and like 3 guys, you know, kind of jump out in these military fatigues, ready to kind of answer his, you know, his verbiage, his call. It says, Midagri needs to take back the mountains from these guerrilla fighters, from these terrorists and these traitors. And she says, or he continues. Dario continues to go off. Is like, do you believe these people? They are clearly wrong. They work for somebody. I know it. How else can they appear here? And they kind of like, he takes a look at one of you. Let's say Calliegh. He looks at you, Calliegh. And he says, I see terroristic origins in her. He has like a quirk of sorts that seems to operationalize his cynicism. And from afar, be able to, maybe from an aroma of sorts, be able to get the general demeanor of a person and what they've done. You smell like egg, rotten egg, as he refers to your egg terrorist pass. And he starts to sniff more and more and more until he says the letters FDA and puckers his lips again. The gasps come out, and the cat, proverbial sweet pea, is out of the embryonic cybernetic sac. So, as your secret gets revealed amongst the others, and the people clearly scared of the members that, they gave you the benefit of the doubt, and now everybody's kind of taking their distance. Even the alpacas in the back are like, bah, bah. You hear some bleats in the back, some like, some hoof clanking. Like everybody's, there's some stomping, there's some real gasps coming around. Dario Lima submits his like withered, wrinkled skin at 35, but the citrus amount that he drinks just really dries him up. He just always looks like he spent too much time in the pool. He's just always out there, so his thick, kind of waterlogged finger is offered to Chuchi, who when bites it, a stream of red blood kind of comes out, for both as it kind of deflates, right, a little bit. The Chuchi is like kind of draining, like this like red liquid off of its mouth. But kind of looks at him and has nearly the same reaction to him as he did to El Guerrillero. Just really upset. Colby, you already understand what the guinea pig says from last time. Chuchi says, launch? You too? And now there's at least 2 confirmed military attacks from both the establishment and the anti-establishment.
Gosh. Colby will lean over to Calliegh. What have we gotten ourselves into? What organization did that guy work for?
So he works for Midagri, the Ministry of Agricultural Development and Irrigation for Peru, the FDA counterpart. And that's why they're wearing this like establishment, military fatigues. They seem like conscripted soldiers, a majority of them, but they seem to have some camaraderie that is uncommon to other organized bands, certainly more than the U.S. Navy, for example. And this person, Dario Lima, with the puckered face and a wrinkled, shriveled body for a relatively young adult male, is just pouring the cynicism and this citric acid on everybody, casting doubt. His organization is in doubt, casting doubt on even the USDA's involvement, even though Chuchi already cleared Freddy. So these are all kind of coming together. Yeah.
Well, dear, it looks like we got
Callie-
ourselves into a pickle.
Yeah. Did you want to do anything before Dinah spoke to the last leader, Aymara?
Nope, not really. She's just standing there, like, kind of unimpressed with the guy who called her out.
I bet me Doglair are the ones that shot that plane down.
I mean, it very well could be that they thought that plane belonged to the other person.
Yeah.
I think the
So maybe
guinea
they
pig
thought they
said
were
that
shooting.
they launched it.
Oh,
At this point, Chuchi has confirmed 2 launches. He did not say of what kinds for each, however, as he is a guinea pig and can only communicate so much.
I mean, but it looks like the guinea pig did not get good vibes from Egg.
From 2 people so far. So far, Sketty has been cleared. Freddy Sketty had a positive reaction. El Guerrillero, the leader of the egg terrorist cell here, a rugged, aftershave kind of beefcakey vibe, right? Negative opinion, secret station, launch, as well as the Midagri's representative Dario Lima, being like citric, sour, and casting doubt on others while confirming that an attack has been made by them as well. Both of which we don't know, however.
Might I do something reckless and impulsive as my character would
Please.
do, being a hotshot?
Please.
He's gonna kind of dart up to the front of the line past all these leaders and say,
Bite me, you fucking guinea pig.
gonna
Just
say
stick
that's
his
Chuchi?
finger out. Yeah, he sticks his finger
Okay.
out.
Okay,
Tell
good
me
idea.
what to think.
Roll for me an activity roll. What attribute do you think you'd like to use for this? I will say that this is
Guts.
position. This is a risky position with a standard effect.
What about guts or instincts?
Guts is fine.
Guts is fine. Okay.
Guts, either is fine. Which one would you like to use?
Same rank in both, so I'll go with instinct on this.
Instinct.
Instinct, yes.
Okay.
Just because I think
All right.
I'm basically a hot shot. I know I'm hot shit, and like if I show
Yeah.
this guinea pig I'm hot shit, then maybe like we'll gain the trust of the guinea pig, which is worshipped by these people, and
Literally, yeah, straight up,
Messed
like
up.
very much is, right? Okay, yeah. So in the middle of everybody, recoiling almost at the sight of you while the alpacas kind of laugh, even, right, at what was going on, with the accusations by Dario Lima. A very sour man.
my finger.
I
Hold
love
on.
doing that.
Make note that my finger is covered in Dorito dust at all times.
Okay.
All these 2 fingers are orange basically at all times.
Oh,
My
that's so
thumb as
good.
well. So these 3.
So he takes a bite. Roll for me your instincts plus your 1. No, you already used your 1, but if anybody would like to lend a hand, or if you wanted to dig in for additional appetite, whatever you wanted to do.
Well, I'm owed an explosion for my last dig in, so I can queue up another explosion. I'll dig in a second. You can use those explosions whenever. Just note that you have them. Yep.
Oh yeah,
So,
your cool explosion. Okay, fine.
yeah, reckless. Yeah, I'm reckless. So anytime I dig in addition to any other effects, I can choose something explodes or I fight like on par with a small gang. Unless I'm actually
Okay.
fighting, I'm always gonna pick something explodes.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna roll 3
The
die.
nearest thing to explode is a structure inside the village. Would you like to detonate one of their homes?
We got a 4, a 5, and a 2. I'm gonna detonate something nearby one of the. Whose side are we on? Can I just like step out of my character for a moment and just tell me who should I blow up? I'm gonna ask from the group's perspective. Are we
From Callie's
anti-establishment now? Are
perspective,
we
she
freedom
doesn't know
fighters
yet.
or? Oh
Pull up Dario Lima.
well,
Lima, sour.
I don't know if Baron's terrorist material, egg terrorist material, just yet, but I'm gonna blow up something neutral. Just startle everyone, cause chaos. Can I choose
Okay.
that option? Okay.
Yes. There
All right,
is
cool.
there's like a granary,
Excellent.
right? That seems kind of like abandoned, right? There's like a hole in the granary at the top and it was kind of like ruined. So you think like, it's a dilapidated structure, it'll be fine, right? You detonate it as Chuchi takes a bite of you, spits it out, and is like, and he really thinks that you're on the level, that
I'm gonna hand him a
everything's fine.
Dorito.
Here's the problem, okay? When you blow up the abandoned granary silo,
Uh-huh.
there seems to be a rumbling beneath you. Okay. At which point, this like a sea of this shredded protein flies out of the ground like an oil geyser.
Oh no.
A geyser. A fountain. It starts to rain on everybody. Yelling from the majority of people here, as you hear some people hollering in joy and others in horror. Shredded, cooked chicken is falling from the sky. This is a dish of Peru commonly known as ají de gallina, an extremely illegal but very traditional dish. As Dario is like, what is this? Is this chicken? And he's like kind of losing it. He's just actually like, he actually doesn't know where could this possibly be coming from. As Aymara, the egg terrorists, and El Guerrillero start like sticking their tongues out, just eating the chicken. The villagers start
So they
picking
have
it
a
up and trying to put it in sacks, trying to collect as much as they can, clearly in on it. And Aymara trying to stop the chaos as Freddy Sketty and Dario Lima get back into battle positions with all this chicken, all this contraband around. How does everybody respond?
I want to like use my training to assess the situation to see who looks surprised of this chicken geysering out of this granary and who is not.
Okay. That will be a risky position because there is some confusion, so it's not enough to be desperate. However, there will be great effect if you do succeed. You'll really be able to see. Sorry?
Sorry. I was gonna say I was using
please.
my last appetite to assist.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so with your last
Scoping
appetite,
the place out.
you do lend a hand. What attribute would you like to use for this, Calliegh Mari?
Training.
Training, gotcha. So I think that you can really scope out in the heat of the moment, scope out what's happening. roll that training for me with an extra d6.
Yeah, I'm also gonna. Can I also use my extra d6 from the retweets?
Yes, please. 4.
All right.
4d6. Let's see what happens.
Four,
Ooh,
four,
a 6.
six,
A 6. You do see something really, really interesting. El guerrillero is speaking, almost whispering, in Aymara's ear, the village elder. The elder seems to be concerned, but not exactly like confused, not surprised. And you start to put 2 and 2 together about her. You got great effect. You got the 6. The woman whose grandson was killed seems to be the one least affected in horror or in revelry than anybody else. Aymara is also the only one who has not fed a piece of herself to the sacred Chuchi.
I'm going to. I want to, because I have that impulsive thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mhm.
that Callie would use all of her what are they called? All of her approaches. And she's like wiping this chicken just goop just off of her hat
Ooh.
and just off of her.
Make it rain.
She's gonna use all of her approaches. So like, because a lot of it has to do with like people just looking at her and having her attention, especially bad guys. She's gonna go up to the egg leader. Which one was
El
him?
guerrillero.
The one that got eaten?
The soldier, El guerrillero.
And Callie at this point just looks disgusted, not because there's chicken, but because it's all over her. You know, I think there's one last person that needs to be consulted with the capybara over there. Lady Elder?
A chinchilla pops out of the ground. He's like, me? No? No? Wrong one. Wrong rat. Zips out.
I thought it was a damn guinea pig.
Chuchi's like, Colby understands it as what? Like, you think I'm anything like those hairy monsters? No, I'm okay. Thank you. I got just enough. Okay.
Chinchillas
I would
are
like
cute.
to like.
They are cutie. Okay, Callie. So you're gonna use those approaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to go up to the egg leader. There is something
Which
you
I'm
notice.
assuming is kind of with everybody else as well.
Yeah. Everybody's like in the center. Everybody's like kind of discussing amongst
Yeah.
themselves. The important thing here is that as you speak, you get a taste of this chicken. And the best thing about it is that it feels really cheesy. It's actually covered, smothered, slathered, all the S words in cheese. Cheese sauce, very common for ají de gallina y papas a la huancaína, which is an extremely traditional dish around here, made commonly with beef and cheese products. A lot of milk. You seem to more importantly than that, is almost like, on the instinct to taste this cheese, right? And kind of have an additional aspect and layer to that. As Colby just has an awful time of it, literally unable to escape seemingly illegal contraband the entirety of the experience. everybody kind of turns to Aymara and asks, kind of, with your initiation, pressures her to get tested. Finally go up to Chuchi and see what she can do. She gets
Kid tested, elder approved.
Kid tested, elder approved. So, oh, I love that reference. Bites and really digs in there. More than some of the other people have really thought about. The Chuchi swivels and sorry for this, everybody, but it kind of goes back into its tunnel and hacks, loses its dinner, whatever beats it was, right, into its home, right, into, or at least the opening segment of its home. Kind of looks out tongue out, iced out, drooling. Kind of pointing up the finger at Aymara, and there are 3 people now. It is unable to speak after such a wretched experience, retching, and so Colby is unable to garner useful information from this time. But it is clear that she is being accused of something. So you found the cheese. You found a good amount of the cheese, and you know that Aymara is not as innocent as she once was, even if her peace-loving, but generally pushy grandson died in the process. We will take a 15-minute break as free play comes to an end, and we will move into the investigation phase of our choose session for tonight as we go to the corkboard and put things together to figure out and crack this case. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us thus far. See you in 15 minutes. Be right back. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Chew, where we last left off our blacklisted FDA agents traveling around the world, chasing that global gastronomy, ding ding, have finally made it to a standing point where, I mean, look at this corkboard. Look at this in the back here. This is gorgeous. This is some true conspiracy level stuff after barely one session even over. With a lot of decisions to make about what happened here. So now we're moving into the investigative play phase, where they have collected thoughts for suspect, method, and motive being the three things that are needed, amongst their details, burning questions, conspiracy thoughts, and other possible facets of the corkboard. Such a crucial part of it. So now they'll go over it and discuss who they think the suspect, method, motive was, or the motive, method, suspect was. I'm okay with either way, really, whichever direction to get there, and see what they come up with, right? See if they really do crack it, and there will be consequences and not to pay. Yep, I do got the whole hat, Justice. I can't be here without the hat. So let's get into it. How does my wonderful agents? How does everybody want to handle this?
I mean, we have the suspects.
Okay, who do you think the suspects are? And at the end, you will need to choose one. Probably. You can choose multiple too, but
It's Egg and the Dario Lima, that fact.
So we got
for who shot.
So we got Beefcake and Sour Man. Okay, so you got rugged Beefcake, El Guerrillero, a thick, wide soldier carrying a manifesto as thick as he is, CC. Make sure that he's really taking it up a notch. hiding chicken, eating chicken out of the sky, right? Clearly up to some stuff. Had a launch, as well as Dario Lima, sour-faced man, teeth-sucking snob. Who's after the agents and believes that it's everybody but the government's fault, and their USDA buddies without any of this unneeded FDA help. A launch was mentioned for both. What do you? Does anybody else want to chime in on maybe narrowing it down?
They're all
So the
horrible
guinea
people
pig said-
Rest Mall.
Did the guinea pig say
Sorry, go
launch
ahead.
about the egg person too?
Yes.
He spit. So here's the big difference between the El Guerrillero, the egg leader, and Dario Lima, sour man for the Midagri. Dario Lima, when he was bit, there was no mention of a hidden station, right? Most likely because they are government entities themselves, and they probably have access to serious military equipment without the need for anything to hide. Whereas when he spoke with, when he ate a piece of the flesh of a guerrillero, he was able to deduce that they did have a hidden location, the location of which you still can't find. But imagine that it really can't be that far from you, and you already know there's a propensity for underground things with chicken geysers, chicken cheese geysers.
A literal chicken pipeline.
Oh my god. I think it's Dario because he has more to hide with his hidden station.
Plus, you could just see it in his face, right? I mean, come on. It's like bad guy face.
Bad face.
But
Yeah.
it's not Dario that has the hidden station, right? It's the soldier,
It's
the
a-
guerrillero.
It is not. It is a guerrillero.
Guerrillero.
Indeed.
Oh,
And
he's the one
that
that
would
I am so confused. Because we keep calling that guy that he's like the head of egg, you keep calling him a soldier, so I thought you meant that like
Yeah.
he
Ed Getty.
is
So they're
openly a
both
soldier.
they're both they're both militants as their occupation, but one is like a rebellious, like anti-establishment, like terrorist unit, or proclaimed by the government, right? And then there's also like the government militants in more traditional canvas garb, that makes them seem like like authoritarian, fascistic, they represent the establishment, right? And so you have like these, and so Dario would be the establishment in this case. El Guerrillero would be anti-establishment in this case. And in addition,
with that
El
guy
Guerrillero,
then.
El Guerrillero does have the hidden station. His name also means the soldier in Spanish. So he's just the leader of
Yeah,
this particular.
I'm going with egg guy
egg
because
carousel.
they don't like the FDA
Okay.
because the FDA was like, hey, you can't eat chickens, right?
It's a
Or is
good
that
it's a good
USDA?
point. No, that
Egg
that
is
is correct.
also-
It is the
it-
FDA.
that is also Egg's MO. Just shoot things out of the sky, ask questions later. Callie would know.
Yeah, so you can definitely deduce that they both would have access to this kind of like, this really heavy military equipment. They both would. So I got 2 votes for El Guerrillero and the Egg Terrorists. Who else?
Yeah, that sounds about right
Unless-
with me as well.
Well,
Okay.
what about Aymara?
Oh, what about Aymara? How do you think she
She
fits
have
into
Do you
all
access
this
think
to
she
the
culture?
shot her
kind of
plane
stuff
down?
to shoot us?
Oh, are we saying who shot the plane down?
I
Well,
thought
what
so.
if
The
she's
question
the
is this. I'll be really clear. Who ordered the plane to be shot? Everyone here represents a
ordered?
leader of a faction. Who ordered? Everybody here is a leader of a faction, and everybody has authority, all of them, to order a strike if both sides have access to this equipment.
What if?
Right, so
okay,
the-
so
Europeans
egg is
like
protecting
ASMR.
who? Wasn't there like somebody talking about Aymara?
Egg is
was, like,
protecting
talking
who?
about-
This is a good question. Egg is protecting the villagers, and Aymara
Is the leader of
for-
the villagers.
is the leader of the villagers. Is
But why
they
would
also have
she want to
pre-established.
take down the FDA?
Okay.
I
Are
think
we
she
changing
would
our
want.
suspect
Or
to
just a
Aymara?
plane in general.
She.
She's
What's-
pulling
It
the
could be.
strings.
It could be. Yeah. It could be. She wants the, any reinforcements shot down. I mean, we just found all of her cheese and illegal chicken.
Oh, right.
Eggs
Yeah,
would
any
definitely
plane that was
protect
flying
that.
over. Yeah, protect sort of deal. Like defending just their general airspace could have
I mean,
been what it is. They may
egg
not.
could have shot. They could have actually
The
launched
conspiracy!
the.
The trick.
They could have launched the missile that hit our plane, but the elder could have ordered it.
All right, I'm on her now. Notice I changed it from certified badass to certified bad person.
Exactly. As you know,
No
like
longer
Colby is
friends.
like wrapped up in a blanket, like just kind of like rocking back and forth, like
Oh,
still trying to get
no.
cheese and meat off of her, and she's like
Oh,
holding a
man.
cup of mata, and
Dinah
she's just
reaches
like,
into her
I
giant.
think it's all of them, just bearing, get them all.
Dinah's gonna reach into her giant leather, like beaten leather bag, and pull out, like moist towelettes. Like she's gonna like do this for a while, like digging in her purse trying to find them. And pull out some moist towelettes and hand them to Colby.
Oh Lord, you're gonna need plenty of those.
At least you can get it off your
Everywhere's-
face.
Meanwhile, I'm probably dipping some Dorito in the stuff. It would probably be pretty good.
Baron, what are you doing?
I would think that Callie's like trying to like separate the chicken from the cheese so that she can make it into beauty products later.
Oh my god. Tofu goes over and starts
Contraband.
licking Colby's face.
Oh, of course, helping.
to get the chicken off of you. My dog Tofu. He's gonna come and start.
Sweet
licking
Pea
your
goes on
face and
over
your
to-
hands.
Sweet Pea is going to lend a
Perfect.
hand. You're gonna spend one appetite to lend a hand.
It's
to,
perfect that
you know-
both Tofu and Sweet Pea are helping the vegan, considering they're both vegan-friendly names.
Yeah, so Sweet Pea's very happy to get some of that carnivorous instinct out, and even though cybernetic, right, still has that desire for flesh that kitties do. Meow. Meow.
Tofu's just
Wow.
cute. He's just wagging his little tail.
Thanks, guys.
So, yeah, that is
Animals are better than
the-
people.
confirmed.
Agreed.
Confirmed. Like the Church of Immaculate. Well, we'll get there, right? The Church of Immaculate. Will show us how that goes in some time. But as for now, we can name a suspect now. If everybody else is in agreement with changing to Aymara, or we can flip it and start at motive, and then go up from there. Whatever you guys want to do. So
Baron
Dinah
Hamm
put
doesn't
out the
negotiate with terrorists.
translation. Who do you think? Are you changing from Aymara, or are you keeping it to Guerrero since he's a terrorist? No, a known terrorist.
I think Aymara's
whatever.
made the call.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't trust anybody,
yeah.
but I think Aymara
They-
did it.
They also, the guinea pig also had the worst reaction to her.
Yep.
And so,
And the,
but the question isn't who we trust, but the question is who shot the plane down. So I can very well just go
Who
along with
ordered-
saying, I don't trust any of them, but
yes.
Aymara did the
Who
shit.
who made the call? Who was like, "Hey, you need to do this." And if she's the
But
elder and
guys-
she's the leader,
And that's her chicken and her cheese.
That's our vote, Chef.
Okay.
Yes, Chef.
Colby.
voting
What
for
if-
Aymara.
What about the llamas? They've
What
shown
about
us
the
that they can
alpacas?
stand.
I have no idea
What
what,
about
the
the
llamas
alpacas?
have to do with anything.
Well,
Alpacas?
We'll get
They're
okay.
genetic
We'll save the
mannequins.
we'll save the alpacas
That's
for
a
later.
question for later.
We'll save
Maybe
the alpacas
it's-
for later.
Genetic man nip
Suspect.
mamas.
We're gonna make
Alpacas.
the
I
llama
mean.
bigger, so we or the
Al-
alpaca,
already
so we go back to
confirmed.
the alpaca.
Already confirmed to an extent, so you'll get there, right?
I'm
Okay.
gonna make
Oh
this
no, they're
bigger.
growing in size.
We gotta remember
Okay.
we gotta remember to talk about it later, so I made it bigger.
I made it bigger. Big
Alright.
alpaca. Yeah.
Big
The-
ass
The
alpaca.
big. Let's talk about the alpaca in the room. Okay. Suspect Aymara.
Boonch.
Method. What was the method?
The egg
Method of what?
missiles.
Oh, the
How
method of
did
shooting
it-
us
Yeah,
down?
freaking missile, bro.
Mhm.
You saw it with your eye.
Missile.
I mean,
So the missile.
Magic.
I will. Okay. So I'll help out a little bit with this one. Not hint wise, just about something else. So method. You guys clearly saw that it was a surface to air missile. That came at you for this. However, right, an important thing about this is that there were other going-ons that affected, there seemed to have been a lot of philosophical conflict between the different parties, right? And even though one person may have ordered, the strike, as is the point of the suspect. When I say method in this case, I'm not necessarily just talking about the missile. I mean, like, what situations happened to necessitate,
I think
a thing, right?
I
What
think
changed?
Amara
What
I
changed
think
recently?
Amara had a conversation with the egg soldier. It was
Mhm.
like, there's a
Can get it,
plane. Is that one of your guys? They were like, no. Shoot it down.
Just a fast order based on identity. Okay.
That
Other
makes
Or a
ideas?
lack
sense.
thereof.
Or they knew we were FDA and that we were coming to check out cheese. And so then they shot us down because we know about the cheese situation.
About the cheese. Okay. So
They all gasped when they found out I was FDA. Nobody knew that we were FDA.
But it's very easy to just gasp.
I do it all the time when I'm taking in a breath. Just a little one.
let's
Sometimes he
talk a
forgets
little
to
bit.
breathe.
Yeah, so that's a good thing, right? What was in the background happening? What conflicts was the village facing outside of what happened with the geyser and the plane, right? Because it's a
alpacas
tragedy,
were
but
taking
it's
over.
recent.
yeah,
Alpacas.
alpaca
Alpacas
horde was
taking
was a
over.
word I distinctly remember hearing
Yeah.
you say.
What
during the
else?
session,
What else was
which
Horde
I've
of
never heard
75
before.
alpacas.
There was a
Douchebag
funeral.
Land.
authoritarians.
So the 75 were just the ones that looked over. There were still about 30 alpacas that did not. So there's about like 100 alpaca, maybe like 40 sheep hoarding around.
100 alpaca. A lot of
Yeah.
them.
But okay, so
Robert
I'm
Downey
confused.
Jr. would be going crazy.
Mhm.
He loves alpaca.
I don't understand why these villagers have a problem with alpacas and sheep. Is it just because they're weird? Alpacas and sheep? Are the sheep
They're
weird
keeping
too,
them
or
in
just
the-
the alpacas?
The alpacas keeping them in the city. They can't leave. That's what we garnered from it.
That was confirmed.
Yeah,
Okay, so maybe we
and
can
they're
talk
just-
to the
they
head
stand up.
alpaca.
Head alpaca.
the head alpaca. Yes, Colby Jack, our animal. We need some
Colby
alpaca
here.
food stat.
Would you be willing to eat some
You want
alpaca
me to
food? It's
Eat the
vegan?
grass.
It's
It
vegan?
is-
I mean, it's covered in chicken and cheese now, but
Nope.
No, it's
Probably find
it's a lot of
attachments, not-
planes. It's a lot of
You
planes.
can
That's
wash
not
it down with
vegan.
some Doritos.
No, but even then, at this point, we'd
the
just be
Doritos
like
are not
picking
vegan,
amongst.
dear.
At this point, we'd
Whatever.
just be picking amongst stuff that we have. We wouldn't be generating like new details, right? So that's kind of
Ah, poo. I really
mean-
want to talk to this weird ass
or
alpaca.
from an external thing. You will, You will, but like right now we're in like, you know, I'm not gonna say it yet because I'll say it for later. But there's a certain kind of meeting going on that needs everybody's attention. Stat.
Got it.
Got it. Okay. So what are we currently on?
No, so
We're on
it's
method.
method. It's method, but in this case situation, I will clarify as what situations changed recently in the village that would have pushed them to do this, right? Not necessarily their actual motive, just like physically what changed. The alpacas is a good one. That's a physical change. It's keeping them like inside the town. There is like another one. Not
The
necessarily that they're
grandson's
both
death.
wrong. Mm.
How did he
Maybe the
die?
alpacas are.
Ding ding, ding ding ding. Not just
We
that, but
interrupted his funeral.
yeah.
I mean, I'm
exactly.
assuming that's an assumption.
No, that's true. No, you are correct. It was one of the
But
ones.
these
like,
like
you knew
all the
that?
ones that they've
And 3 others.
lost. How did that happen?
The others, exactly.
Mhm.
Right.
Probably
so
what we
just
saw. Them just
remember to refer back to
shooting
your
each other.
suspect. Remember to refer back to your specific suspect. How does Aymara tie to this? You know, this like
Well, she
external
didn't seem
situation
to.
change.
She didn't seem to. Wasn't it like she didn't actually care about her kid, like her grandson dying?
Yeah, Amara committed a false flag, and basically like had her grandson killed so she could rally up all of her people behind her cause. America.
I mean, leaders like to do that.
Sorry, that was
Well,
not
the
my
grandson
character.
wanted to keep peace, and if
Yeah.
there's peace, then Egg doesn't need to be there, and who's going to help her protect her chicken and her cheese?
He,
Other
he
than
may have not
Right.
been. He may have not been on
lovers.
board with the pipeline sitch.
Ooh.
You know, he may have been like,
Ooh.
"Whoa, hold on, this is gonna get us in trouble, mom or grandma. We gotta get
Maybe.
rid of this."
She got rid
Okay,
of him.
so yes, so the grandson.
You're
says
saying the
this is a
grandson's
bad
death
idea.
motivated. You're saying the grandson's death like was the recent change that kind of spurned action.
Yeah.
I would think
Okay.
so. Would rally up the
I-
troops.
yeah.
You know.
So then
Okay.
he must have died in a way that would make the egg people and Dario more likely to support her cause.
Okay. So we'll go with that for the method. And as for the overarching like motive behind like her crimes for shooting down the plane, right, in this situation, what would be the longer standing change that would have influenced this, reflected this
I
There's
think she
something in
wanted
the
to
beginning
protect
about
her
their
dish.
business.
motive? What's the motive?
Has something to do with this pipeline, I think. This chicken pipeline. That's too valuable to not be able to
Yeah,
do.
I
Where's
think,
the
I think it was to
cheese?
protect. It was to protect the chicken cheesy dish. They had a
Yeah.
whole bunch of it in that.
Which I really
in that
freaking
place.
want. So thanks for that.
You can
You
have
gotta
some
be
of
like
my
me and order
I
ceviche.
Taco
think-
Bell in the middle of
Uh,
the.
Take the
I,
onions
I
out.
think
Just
I think
put
that
them out.
was. I think that was like the
Good.
prime motivation is to protect. And it was a lot. There was a lot of food in there. There was a lot of chicken and a lot of cheese.
A lot of chicken, a lot of chicken, a lot of cheese.
And the villagers were trying to save it.
They were trying to save it.
Is that a
But
fake
they weren't
bowl of
surprised that it was
ceviche?
happening either.
It is not a fake bowl of ceviche. It is real ceviche that I have here.
You just haven't been
It
eating.
wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah,
surprising.
I have ceviche stuff. This has ceviche.
No, well, correct me if I'm wrong there,
I'm
chef.
gonna spill so much food. I
You
can't
when
wait. Go ahead.
I looked around and you told me who was surprised and whatnot. You said the villagers seemed surprised and elated, and they were like saving it, right?
They okay.
thought
They
they
were
weren't
not
surprised.
surprised. They were
They were just
scared.
excited.
They were not eating it. The egg terrorists
They were
were
hap-
eating it, and
they
they were
were
happy.
eating it.
They weren't trying to save any of it. But the village, so both parties, so USDA and Midagri were surprised and scared.
The villagers
The
were
villagers,
the villagers
were not
scared.
surprised, but were scared. and the egg terrorists were not surprised, and they were happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody's in on the pipeline, but the terrorists probably just have different motives with the pipeline than the villagers. Then, seemingly, based on the difference
comes in and mucks it up.
Yeah.
Or
was retired.
are the villagers unsurprised because Aymara has been up to this for a while, where like she's been dealing with this underground chicken business, and the villagers think that it's a bad idea. And that's
You said
why
that this was their like signature dish.
This was their traditional favorite dish, because usually it's prepared with papas a la huancaína is included in it, because it's a very similar sauce. So usually you have this like shredded chicken, white rice, papas a la huancaína, like reduced cheddar, like cheddar sauce with like milk reduction, kind of like delicious gooey, I wouldn't say slop, but it kind of jumbles together after a certain point if you don't keep them separated. And this is like their favorite thing. So they have actually ridiculous amounts of it, to the point where there's an underground pressure system like leaking, right? So it has to be in large quantities. It could be that they were scared
because they had known FDA there, recently known FDA there, and Dario Lima, who is here for the cheese and the illegal chicken, which he didn't know about. He's just here for the cheese. So, I mean, as a citizen, whether I knew or not, I would still be scared. But if it's a signature dish I would want to try and still sneak some of it. So the villagers may or may not have known. I mean, somebody's working the pipeline for sure, but...
That's a good point. Somebody is working the pipeline, right? And that kind of operation doesn't happen individually.
But it could also be Egg that's working the pipeline.
What,
because they seemed unsurprised.
Just foot soldiers in this.
I'm so confused.
This is a fun one, okay? So you got suspect down, chosen, choosed. You got method choosed, cheesed, chewed up,
choosed or cheese.
Peacock. And we're now it's motive, right? Let's go around. This is a complicated one, clearly, and we seem divided on it. Let's do something where we all go around and do like a 1 or 2 sentence what you believe the overarching motive is, and then we'll see what everybody agrees with. All right. So, okay. Yeah, Dinah, you're ready. What is it?
All right. I think that Aymara's motive is to she's wanting to provide the chicken dish with the cheese to combine Dario's interests and Egg's interests so she can control both of them.
Okay. And
there was something about like needing to because of the chicken panini, like it ruined their business or something like that, and like took away all the chickens. And so I'm thinking that like she wants the ability to do the chicken dish, and to protect her interests, she's getting Dario and the egg dude involved.
Okay.
And she killed her grandson because he didn't want to do this.
Dual approach. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. So recalling the method, trying to tie to this. That's a pretty good motive. Baron.
I'm kind of in with what Dinah was saying. Okay. Mama Maple. I kind of agree with Mama. But I think really where this chicken came in though.
Thanks for the raid, everyone.
Was like
welcome.
Egg. This village, seems to have a relationship with Coca. So I feel like now that the chicken's the hot stuff, this has replaced probably a lot of their illicit operations prior to the panini.
What a ridiculous sentence. Okay.
But yes, I know, right? Lots of words that don't make sense together.
It's actually
normally.
really no, it's pretty valid. So like it was motivated by a loss of funds from the loss of other illicit industries and having to move into new industries. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and because chickens were even more illegal than probably now, and even more
makes sense.
Valuable, easier to make.
Callie.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Mama Maple. Like, I think the Amara's motive is to protect her interests, which is the cheese chicken dish. And yeah, I think she wants control over the chicken, but I think she already has egg, so that's a non-issue, but I don't know if she's trying to. I think what she was trying to do is she was trying to get those two to go after each other so they wouldn't look at her and what she's hiding, which is the cheese and chicken. So it all just comes back to she's trying to protect this dish that she has hidden in this pipeline.
Okay.
I forgot they were fighting earlier. That's a really good point.
Okay. Amazing motive so far. Colby? Like, really well thought out.
Oh man, I don't know if I could even follow these guys. So I mean, I agree with everyone that I think that it is Amada. That beating the egg soldiers is probably taking a lot. So if they're busy fighting the establishment, then no one is going to be interrupting her chicken business. And so that's also leading, now there's like a third party with the FDA coming in, and she's just like needed to get rid of them as well. Or us. That's us.
Yeah, that's us. Yeah, we were on the plane.
We were on that plane.
We were on that plane. I was just there.
Oh my gosh. It's all coming together.
Okay.
Did you hit your head on the way down? You were tumbling a bit there. Still dizzy?
Tumbling and wind.
Okay, yeah, no, so the militarists taking down the FDA, you know, because of some advanced knowledge, you know, and kind of contributing to it early. Okay.
Yeah, because she
So could have been
doesn't
ratted
know.
out. I know it's not my turn,
Let's
but
just
we could have been ratted out by Mike Appleby, right? And to get you know, get him to shoot us down.
The conspiracy never ends. The conspiracy.
Mike
never
Appleby
ends.
is an ass, but he wouldn't do that to us.
Okay. In the end, you know, in a quick call out, who do we generally feel has the most likely motive? All right, and we'll try to keep it short, you know, just pick something, you know, because we're already with the other two.
Imara
wants to come. Motive. So being the, you know, to control both of them. Was it because of the loss of the drug money potentially? You know, was it the fact that, you know, they had advanced knowledge of the FDA, like Colby said, or like Callie said, you know, that, you know, they were fighting and it was to take the attention off her, right? Of those four, what do we think is really like pretty solid? Or do we not have an agreement? Is there no like unanimous decision, which is fine too? The case takes you. It chews you up and it spits you out.
I think I'm gonna go with what Dido said because I forgot that they were fighting each other.
Okay. That's
so like
pretty solid. So
beginning of my part, but then take away the part of like she wanted control over both of them. Because
she wanted neither. She wanted the opposite. She wanted nothing to do with either of them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Or was she trying where was originally she wanted them both to work for her, but then they got too annoying and she decided to pit them against each other. Either way, I'm going with what Dido said.
Okay. I think that honestly you have like, you know, it's two sides of the same coin, your motive descriptions for them. So I think it's pretty good, right? Like going with some configuration of that, right? And I'll accept either answer since they're generally so close. All right. You return back to the caucus, agents. Ready. With your suspect Aymara. Your method, your external changes being the death of the grandson and other members of peace, as well as your motive, which is, some power politics regarding, the egg terrorists and the Midagri, with Dario Lima, being sour about everything all the time, being cynic, being a cynic, and as well as, Guerrillero, just being a happy-go-lucky, breathing the mountain air, the Andes mountain air, and breathing that cheese and chicken, and live a happy life in the true reality away from the government. Right. Okay. So let's see what happens. Let's roll first. Okay. And there's enough die that everybody would be able to roll at least one. What do I mean by this? If you got the suspect right, if you got the method right, and if you got the motive right, for a maximum of 3 die roll that you can do on this investigation check. Okay, between them. Now, what I'm gonna do is that you got the suspect right. You got so Aymara was definitely the one who ordered the initial hit as matriarch of these two overarching societies. You are also correct in the method. It was indeed the killing of anti-war and anti-pipeline supporters in the village, which was able to allow the Hawks to take more control. And blow up the plane to actually create enough public support to start attacking. Your motive, I'll give it's close enough, honestly. So she wanted foreign involvement down. She just wanted the USDA and the FDA out. She was okay, and the egg terrorists kind of too. So she's okay kind of ignoring them. She did want to control both of them, like Dinah was saying, but not to keep them, to get rid of them, like Calliegh was saying. You're actually both correct. For this, 3 die, right, have been given. I'm also going to give a 4th for getting all 3 as a kind of, Trinity bonus award, but also so that everybody gets to roll at least 1d6. So everybody roll at least 1d6 to see what you get on your investigation check. And this is how a perfect will look. A perfect case will be all 4, right? Getting at least, 1 die, 1 chance to add to this 6, this coveted 6 that we're looking for. Oh!
What? These are all not good rolls, everyone.
I rolled a 5.
Yeah, exactly. So, Dinah, your roll is best. You got a 5. Okay?
Thank goodness. I missed that one.
You do succeed, albeit with a consequence. Okay? Let's see what that consequence is as the agents reapproach the caucus with this newfound information, after putting this corkboard really together, by the way. Amazing use of the corkboard. Aymara, El Guerrillero, Dario Lima, as well as Chuchi and Freddy Sketty, all standing there like some superhero gathering, right? Each representing a powerful faction, right? In the Andes mountain ranges that produce a large portion of the world's cheese and beef exports, especially now in the wake of the loss of El Gallina. La Gallina. Whom do you wish to speak to first? I imagine Aymara, but it doesn't have to be. Who wants to be face here? Or to start us off at least.
Just by default happen.
What?
I'm just saying I can't
more
be the
time?
face. I can't be the
Gotcha.
face. Something will blow up.
You're just there like
I think
you're just there
Dinah-
like
Is it? I think Dinah's the face, right? I have my charms too.
Dinah's pretty facey.
kinda
Yeah,
what-
Dinah's pretty
that's
facey.
what the
Mascot.
mas-
You got
That's what the
Sakura.
mascot is
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Yep. So you want to face it? Let's go.
All right.
What
am
is
I-
it,
I'm gonna-
child? What is it? What do you want? You're like looking right at her. What do you want?
Oh, Aymara. I'm looking right at Aymara.
Yeah. Again, I imagine this is the first person you speak to, so.
That was originally my plan. I was gonna start questioning her. Well, dearie, you've gotten yourself in quite the situation here. All right, I'm like, how old is this lady if she thinks I'm a child?
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So some of these my bless my gran abuelita, right? They live super long lives on basically nothing, right? So
Yeah.
the woman is at least a sanitarian. At least. Like old. She can still project voice perfectly though, and she's lived through the panini. She's tough as nails, right? And what do you wish to say to her? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Dinah walks up and says, well, dearie, you've gotten yourself in quite the mess here.
How so? What do you think happened?
I think that your interest in chicken and cheese has gotten a little bit away from you, and you got these not such great minds there to work for you, and it's gone a bit sour, wouldn't you say? She looks at Dario.
Don't even get me started on this one. Him more than anybody. He's like there. Completely puckering.
His face definitely makes me want to punch him in the face. Absolutely.
He's like, the man reminds me. I can't with this sphincter mouth, right? And she just kind of like curses at him, right? It's just like this cojudo, which basically means like
it's asshole.
Yeah, in this being an ass, right? Is exactly what it is, right? He's like, well, I never, right? Kind of like, he's just being as awful as he can be about it. But it's clear that she wants him out and she acknowledges some involvement, with them. Do you want to bring up the method, like the deaths of the peace supporters?
Yeah. So, did you think that if you distracted everybody, that you'd get away with your little plot here?
I mean, there's no hiding it now. I mean, mira eso, and then she just looks at like this yellow sea starting to grow on this like once pristine, untouched like hill, right? Just this cheese sauce glazing over this mountain. It's viscous. It's like gooping lava right down, right? There's a small little eruption. Oh man. Right, and they've managed to tilt the pipe at least towards the outside of the mountain range, but now the entire city of Huancaño can see this like basically papas de Huancaína sauce like falling down like this mountain. There's chicken bits in it, right? So now like Midagre has a hard time. Midagre has a hard time like keeping up, and they send a majority of their units back. Really, the only one left is Dario, because they have to keep the kiddies out of like swimming in seas of cheese chicken when it eventually reaches the city, in an hour or two. Which is hilarious. It's just a great vision to think about. And she does mention how I loved my grandson. It's full on confession at this point. I loved my grandson. I really did. But he didn't want this. But we needed it. And he was willing to put These, and points to the alpacas, who are still there in amphitheater form the whole time. At this point, they have like they've already they've woven like hammocks. They're like making like makeshift like soccer balls, and crap. Like they're having a good, it's like a little
It's a full-on
concert,
day event.
It's a music
Of
festival.
course they
right?
play
They're
soccer.
chilling.
They're alpacas.
This is dramatic. This is what they've been waiting for. I mean, it seems like they knew that something was coming to a head, and this is it, right? This is the gizzard, right here. So, my grandson, mi otro hijo, él quería mejor por ellos, pero nosotros no queremos esos diablos en el pueblo de nosotros. In other words, my grandson loved the demons to the west, right? He loved these animals, but there's no way that we could have these monsters, in our village, right? Living in tandem, and this is why we have this, essentially, implying that that's why they have this rated, basically segregated territory, right, between alpacas and these egg terrorists who go out and villagers who are unable to do anything. It's scary, right? It's scary when she says that to you. Would you also like to include your motive now?
I'm sorry, I got distracted by somebody changing the eye color to red on the alfalfa.
Rip.
I'm sorry. You asked me to
The motive. Yeah. Would you?
The motive?
You can mention the motive at this point. And see what she says.
So
So she's already admitted, right? She's already admitted.
What did we think? What did we decide the motive was, though? Besides owning to be able to do the chicken and the cheese.
A combination of control of the Midagri and the egg terrorists,
And getting it
as well as pushing away the ones that she did not want.
Got it. The one spot that I'm not clear on is what exactly was your plan with these and the big guy?
So you're saccharine. So she's telling you like everything. She's like really pouring her heart out to you because you're like literally the closest person in age that she's spoken to in years. And she's like, listen, we used to export all kinds of beef here, all kinds of cows. The alpacas killed them and ate them all. Chicken was illegalized. Now he looks at Baron, like behind those, these glasses, these sunglasses. He's like, it's true. We heard you. We don't have to put up an act anymore. It's true. It's because we lost product, cash, profit from other places. But here, we supplemented it with this pollito. And, in a city near Huancayo, ají de gallina is probably the most popular dish you can sell. It was lucrative. It was necessary. The people needed their dish back. But the Midagri and the USDA, you damn imperialists, always getting in our mierda, in our bullshit, right? Like, essentially, getting your fingers in places they don't belong. And now they have really flown the coop, looking at this like lava sea pouring over this mountain. Essentially, she just talks about how she just feels like you guys are, including the FDA, that you're all imperialists and you're out to get her. And that they need to keep their independence as the USDA and the FDA grow in power worldwide. And that the other ministries are unable to stop them. Even Midagri here, and like rolls over to Dario Lima, who's like, do you think that we wanted to work with these people? Mm-mm. Do you think I want to be with these people? And he's like, it's true. He's like a loyal government, official, from the Ministry of Peru. And he doesn't really feel like dealing with foreign involvement, but he feels like he can't turn them down because they have egg terrorists, so it's these proxy wars being fought that, is just a sad tale of another cycle in South American history, right? Um, at the heart of it all, Chuchi, still golden, still beautiful, losing a bit of that glow, actually. Um, you see him start to like dim out as everybody starts to like turn towards him. Um, uh, essentially, Colby, you're able to understand this. She says that she can't deal with the pain of the betrayal of her village and her people once more. What's once become what was once like a peaceful village with like farming and kind alpaca have been replaced with monsters and like the like the burrowing for chicken in bushes and trees. They've fallen from such grace that whatever magic was here, whatever collective unconscious was keeping this SIBO path in good graces is starting to fade, and you can tell that this Cuy to be will never be. The village has lost its heart. You're able to approach it and hear its dying words, if you wish, Colby.
Yeah, she'll definitely like go forward very slowly and like gather it up in her hands. Just like gently stroking the fur on its back.
The people, everybody, regardless of faction, kneels, bows, or like completely supplants themselves. You know, they in order to go ahead and pay their whatever respect they're willing to give to this Cuy to be, which is a lot. As it dims, it whispers in your ear. I remember the days when I was young and the alpacas changed. For 2 weeks, they were gone. This is all translated. For 2 weeks, they were gone. And they came back. I remember great metal dragonflies in the sky, looking very similar to the ones that you came in on before you jumped out, with these brown flesh-colored balloons. I remember an ad for something, a can called Pult Plus. And he kind of describes like the advertisement, which is essentially like a cartoon chicken grabbing a can that says Pult Plus on it with a plus. Like it was like savory artificial chicken to go. So somebody involved in genetic manipulation and engineering of chickens has also worked their magic on the alpacas and the sheep of the recent area. He also remembers, kind of recalls, he has like a recollection moment where he remembers a single word on the plane with a stamp and some numbers, kind of like an identification code. Argentina. Argentina. And you can add a new lead, a new country to this global gastronomy board for a perfect case completed. And the last words of the Cuy heard before he passed. Thank Chimkin that you weren't arguing with the other factions in order to do this. So we will take it there. We'll stop there. We'll do a quick, roughly 5-minute debrief with just some questions I'll ask to see who garners such experience. But this perfect case which ended in a sad loss for the innocent, whether it be yourselves or the Cuy that was never to be. Where's the cheese is over. You guys find out where the cheese was. Next, we'll do some quick, like I said, some quick questions here. If anybody felt like they experienced troubles, issues, or any kind of fallout from one of their troubles, a rival or a romance that they spoke with or had issues with, a condition that they had, so a consequence that was put on you, or a quirk that you used that might have backfired in a slight way, give yourself one experience. And if anybody wants to share one example, they can. But they don't have to.
Well, mine was
And this is
definitely
just to help.
Freddy.
Freddie, that's obvious.
Yeah,
That's
Mark
for
comes
sure
over.
one. For sure, you met
Getting in my
your.
way.
Tell us. Give us
I
a
have a-
quick 2-sentence description of your former romance or trouble.
Freddie Sketty. I worked for the USDA, and Freddie Sketty was,
Ooh, you worked for them. Interesting.
yeah, a long time ago. That was kind of the whole thing. Like, I was an
Yeah.
agent for the USDA, and Freddie Sketty was one of the other agents, and she's like, 10, 15 years younger than Dinah. So it was kind of a like, I don't know how to explain it. Dinah thought that Freddie was like actually into her, and they had like a whirlwind romance, but in reality, Freddie was just trying to get ahead, and so Dinah ended up leaving the USDA when they had a falling out because Freddie got promoted above her, and
Hey Raiders. Thanks, Rob.
and revealed that that she was just using Dinah, and so Dinah left the USDA for the FDA. That's
It's a tragic situation.
thing.
It's a tragic
Yeah,
situation.
that's
It's just more
so she
context.
hates her.
Yeah, for a sad situation. Like,
Sucks.
well, hopefully it won't be the last time you see the USDA and its representatives on this world tour. Does anybody else want to share one of their fallouts?
I had a question.
Uh-huh.
Go
Your
ahead.
I
impulse,
just quickly.
Dave? Sorry.
Go ahead. You go first.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Sorry.
my impulsivity got a guinea pig killed.
That's definitely a one. That's definitely a one. Whether if the guinea pig was, you won't really know if it, the guinea pig died, for maybe mysterious reasons, but you definitely, might have accelerated. I'd definitely take a
It
one
was
there.
it was
Baron?
my impulsiveness that made him bite the elder.
Yeah, no, and you know what? Like we learned a lot. We learned a lot, didn't we? Baron, what do you think?
These fought.
Oh, so I was thinking, did I? Since it could have been I mean I passed the roll, but would you say like a obsession with? Nah, I don't think I get it. I take back what I'm saying. I don't think I get an XP for the first one. I can't think of anything, but the second one
You're
I
good,
for
you're
sure
good.
can.
You're good. Yeah. So the second one is if your approaches were used at all, get a +1. I know everybody did use their approaches, so that's an easy +1 for everybody.
Oh yeah, I was bold as hell and half baked.
Moving on from there as a group. So those are the individual questions as a group. Now, can anybody think
Wait,
of
your
any
Doritos
interesting?
are only half baked?
No, he's
Oh,
half baked.
Oh, I'm half
But that would also be
after
awful
that
for the
Coke.
for the
After that
for the
Coke
chips.
drink, I'm fully baked.
Fully baked. Yeah. It's no trouble there anymore. As a group, did everybody experience or encounter any interesting new connections or conspiracies?
Yeah. The Cool Ranch conspiracy.
Yes.
We all encountered that as a group.
We did say that was a conspiracy. I have to live up to my word. So we got Cool Ranch
We
conspiracy.
put it on the board.
What else?
The llama conspiracy.
The manipulated
The llamas, the
llamas.
genetic engineering, and the genetic Argentina engineering in Argentina conspiracy, and then last.
The Mike Appleby. Why did he blacklist
And the blacklisting.
us?
And the blacklisting. Yeah. So we got give yourselves three each. I think it's supposed to be just one but it had multiple multiple conspiracies. I want a reward for all of them. So everybody take 3 there. And would anybody like to commend any one of their other agents to foster some goodwill, and give anybody you commend some points? You can also commend multiple. Just give a short sentence with it.
I'm gonna commend Colby Jack for their ridiculous ability to just talk to all of the freak animals and figure out what we needed to do. It was just like really crucial that we were able to talk to the
guinea pig.
Yeah, the whole time.
Chuchi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
The fact, yeah,
it's true.
What does that mean? Just little chew?
No, little chew, small chew. No, it's just cutie. No, it's just like an onomatopoeia for cutie.
Got it. Okay,
it doesn't
cool.
actually mean anything.
I like that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Cool.
But I like yours too. Small chew.
Small chew.
I want to give one to Colby as well for staying in character, even when covered in chicken and cheese in the blanket.
Mm-hmm.
That for sure.
2 XP to Colby.
I also want to give one to Colby because
3.
no matter what we were talking about, she kept going, but what about the llamas? No matter what it was.
Plus,
there's gunshots going,
never
and
take
she's
your
like,
eye off
the
the ball.
llamas.
Plus, Colby's player produced this whole episode, so whatever. I guess.
It's a whole thing too. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for checking too. Woo! All right, so we will take it there. Everybody take your XP and add it up. Once you get to a certain amount, which I believe is 8, pretty sure. Once you get to 8, you're able to purchase another, like an upgrade, and basically add a star to one of your. Spend 8 XP to either improve your guts rating, improve your instinct rating, choose a new perk, or maybe something else if you want to talk to me about it. So, I don't know if anybody got 8 here, but if you did, by session 1, congratulations, right? Anybody get 8? Colby, you get 8?
Yeah.
Colby's probably 1 away.
Wrecked.
No, I got
Colby wrecked.
Oh, Lord.
Amazing. Okay, so MVP, clearly this is where the MVP medal comes up, and it's like, in honor of Chuchi, gold medal, right? Like a crying guinea pig,
You have won, Iron Chef.
In old relief, there can only be one Iron Chef. Yeah, Iron Chef goes to Colby for tonight. Amazing. So we'll just end tonight with some mention of our amazing sponsors once again, and then some cast outros. So once again, thank you so much to Imagining Games and Penny for Tales, Mitch Bustillos, for this amazing opportunity to play Chew. Right, I'm so excited for it. Please, everybody, make sure to check out the Facebook page. To go ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead and post a little commands right now. All right, for the Facebook and the Kickstarter. So the Facebook has all the news on stuff for the comic right now, as well as for the RPG. So it's kind of a Chew center. There's also the Kickstarter, which really helps out if you notify and add a follow, and it's right there in link. Linky poos are in the chat. I also want to thank Weave the Tail for the first session of the season. Ow! Right, amazing. With the hype trains and the follows, the retweets, the sub. Literally 5 timings, the sub count. It's redonkulous. Everybody, for such an amazing time. Thank you all for believing in our little kitchen back here, right, with head chefs and sous chefs and line cooks alike. I will just start with some outros then. My name was Anthony. Thank you. I'm so happy to be everybody's head chef You can find me on Twitter, where I continue to do stuff for Chew every Friday night Chew. We're taking pace with whole seat, but you only need the edge, and I hope it's pretty tasty. Every Friday, 8:30 at Eastern Standard Time here on Weave the Tail. And this met there at Prainntheplague is my Twitter, and we'll go around to our amazing cast to plug whatever they got going on, and then we'll end off with a fun little treat for everybody. Same order as we did before. Hope I didn't mess this up because I did this the same as last time. Let's go with Dinah. Was that the one that Nikki?
I think you started with Baron.
I think you started with me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Baron. Let's go. Sorry about that.
Baron, what am I? Oh, outro. Cool. Oh,
Outro.
I am Leland / LeopoldTheJust. You can find me all over the internet at LeopoldTheJust. I make memes and stuff mostly on Facebook and Instagram, and I post about whatever other random crap people post about on Twitter, right? Just anything. Anyway, oh yeah, this was super fun. I enjoyed playing Baron Hamm. You can find me next week on this. I'm not doing anything right now other than this. But I will be having a Zweihander show coming soon, so keep an eye on that if you like Zweihander. All right. Thank you. This was amazing.
Yay. I believe next was Dinah. Was I correct on that one? Callie?
I think it's Dido. You can find me at Dido11 on Twitter. I don't post much. But on Mondays and Wednesdays, you can find me over on Swindler's Den, where we play D&D.
The Den of the Swindlers. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Now, Dinah. Sorry about that.
Now it's me. So I'm Nikki. I can be found pretty much everywhere online as Halfling_Nikki NIKKI. I am an educator, LGBTQ advocate, and disability advocate for teachers. And I I'm co-creator of TTRPG, which is TEA TRPG, and we started as a talk show. We even have musical guests. It's super cool. Now we have a whole channel. We have Kids on Broom starting next Tuesday. I'm on Composure, which is on Honey and Dice on Wednesday evenings, and then I will be back here on Friday. And then the last Sunday of the month is our talk show, where we will have 2 interview guests and 1 musical guest, and it's super fun. I super recommend that you tune in.
And lastly, but not least, Colby Jack or Sam.
Hopefully I'm not muted. Hey guys, I
Nope.
am Sam. Yep, you can hear me. Also known as Scribbles. I also like to interact as Weaves the Tale in chat. I'm the community manager of the channel, and the Penny for a Tale network. And this was a whole lot of fun. I love food puns. I love food in general. And playing a vegan is just great because that's me. I did want to say I really appreciated Calliegh saving me from the plane fall, and just everyone's RP. Like, this was just a fantastic setting, and like, this is definitely not a game I would normally play or something like that's in my typical style. So this was a lot of fun. You can catch me on Sundays on the Penny for a Tale channel playing Age of Ashes as a variety of different characters. And you can also catch me next Wednesday running a one-shot of Flabbergasted by the Wandering Tome, which will be coming to Kickstarter soon. So if you are interested in casting for that, check out our casting calls on our Discord, and you can play with me as a GM in the 1920s. So I'm excited for that. But yeah.
Ooh. As a last bit of good news from a surprise commendation, Callie, please add 1 XP for that clutch commendation at the end there. Right. And thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this with us. We will now do the Chew Call to pipe you all out and have a wonderful night, okay? Macaque!